Well, we have you're live. Okay, 101.7 FM. So, and you're live so you're across your stations. I will almost pick you you're live. Good evening, Akwaba, and your day, Mamo Ebu. Okay, 101.7 FM or Ship House, Abeka Junction. So, we're broadcasting live from there all the way to Migachu FM, Wokukren to me, and all the way to Highlight Radio or Virginia, and all the way to King's Jersey Radio. New Jersey approach memo, and also all the way to London, NASPA Radio with Kuku Spencer and any team now. We're also broadcasting live all the way to Europe in France and Belgium, Adam Fupa Media. So we are cut across everywhere. We're also live on Facebook and live on YouTube on Vim Lady Online. Good job. So we'll join you or hand him say how they will be fire no said ye. Now, this 2024 elections, because you see, we all have been complaining about the state of Ghana. In fact, many madam for being an point such a thing command and Ghana. And also, if you have been traumatized by Ghana, I say Ghana and you're but we are also at a standstill. Yes, we are moving. And we will talk about it. And now they ever call into grassroots politics because we are the grassroots people. And then we look at new force, the things he's talking about. Say, or person no leading new force. In fact, now Cheddar say he is the IMF, he is the glue, he is the litmus, he is a Diana Ghana boom. We look at that because the reason why Uncle Bobby Brenia break Cheddar, Kofi Cranton, Dr. Ankramo. Ene odike mone tirabosum ne CPP ne PNC ne other people is that people are increasingly showing say they are tired of NDC and MPP. But you see, it's a bit of hypocrisy and it's a bit of double standards because the same kind of one who say they are tired of NDC and MPP, they are the same people who go back and vote NDC and MPP. They are the same people. Questions are Mubusa China. Questions are Yebusa Kofi Cranton. Questions are Yebusa Odike, Chirabosomi and now wait me aye. What shows you can do? Then why what shows that you're corrupt, who your own media or unfortunately, the same voters no to me Busa NDC and MPP questions way. They cannot ask NDC and MPP these questions. And when you Ghana and make sure say Ghana yenum taste and yet to serve brochure and Diani Edina say TikTok name a trend say Ghana for be catching for our brochure for say oh ba. Men Tony am a fundi am Ghana na Ghana ni ye bie. Ya try be careful. Ye prema for ni egu Ghana. Adwene ni ye prema. Ye num ye prema. Ye sisimu ye prema. Atopa kese ye ni mubu. Style se akese ye ti social media ni ye chere ye YouTube anchi style ye ho style ana na no program bi ana me say antina ade o say de obi si e wo nkremofo de ho ene ye ho de ho ene ye wo sori kopra nse hunu kwa. These are the things. Yenuma bie ewa tupam jinene de ewo form Ghana for no. Yenuma bie wa tupa ajinene de entina me person for ya se moduro. O ya si tie. Bet tie no ate. Ko adwini mu ebebo gamshins mu. Ye no de Ghana for here. De obewo ya dwuma ma ya koye gamshins mu. Ye nti go mu na delegate for koto aba mo pedi o mbegi ska woro. Delegate koto aba. And can did not journey abba. Look at a general who the obeya. A dream the obefa woman that Buamo mana con him debbie. Ye pesca ye bedi. Yene, yet ye no need your bio. A journey the still form. Everything I said I bet him I bold enough to obey Kumasi. Not said I bet catch or the poor, a bebe Kumasi. In this day and age, if we have what training AI for the next 20 years. All the IT and AI jobs in their phone are drinking. No. They are thinking for the future. Yen chewing gum quiet to me. The last 2 years, Ghana imported chewing gum quiet crafty brochure the bank Ghana. And 6.4 million Ghana dollars. 6.4 million chewing gum. Chewing gum 6.4 million. Say Ghana, your highest import country, your cranium free back, China. Your critical free watcher or maybe Ghana. Your critical free Niama free China more than any country. In fact, German for organization be from statistics said me research be honum na me hu figures on. Last 2 years in Ghana importing Niama $2.6 billion from Abroche. And Niama go import you. And Niama and go import you. And Tina make sure say Ghana or mind me bet me a China. Or mind me bet me say Europe near the Ghana. Your leaders here number 1, number 2 you Ghana for now so. Because for mind what genie in blue Abroche but what no me Abroche who see me Abroche. Oh, it's a thing a beep near the Kunkum yellow. Ye no more than your brooch, but Jenny dear, a form. A general form. Say we are saying why a dinner, they Ghana for their politics. A brooches were my day. US a one day. Canada a one day. Inflation in London is almost 9%. America. What $100 to call a Costco and your Sabre because Century, Utokosia, what on toes, Utomeko, $100 is gone. That is America, no. Yet Ghana. Credit system na Abroche for the number of Abroche, nobody can buy anything in cash. Want to be talk. $5 a crumble got the card letter Abroche for no. Ghana, Ghana card the credit, I done the politics. And a Ghana card, we had this Gumusa from President Kufuor time. Yeah, Ghana card, yeah, Mahama time, Professor Dumomo, or my of a can of Rata, buy, Mr. Can of Rata, Professor Tefa. Or buy and wait to me, I Ghana card in here, we at least 100% crowd. We are getting somewhere. Now, about me, I said this so much to me, Ghana card no from bed. These are the things I'm because you have to also say in the next 10 years, you know, or be able to me the card, you know, Ghana card never and no, and yeah, I'm not about you. Ghana card no will form a basis of data collection. And I will be idea, who need card or broach it, who need data card. I better say, why did you to mentor her or broach it? Oh, Koto, dear Quani, a discount. Yes, why did you weigh? What's your license? What's your state ID or social security number? Where here, papa, 80%, papa, 40%. Ghana, you need Ghana, or 100%. And then 2 city cry, I on crown, now Koto or Malcolm cry. Also, returning 100% because you need card system be a bema credit or. Now, yeah, they are done politics. Meanwhile, is a gun card now, about me, or the gun is a can or the gun is a can about me, and now that form said to Cremoni and I had never shop or what that form said to my Ghana card no was so good. In fact, Mahama buy in 2025, a Ghana card, the Mahama met Wasso. Because Mahama time he wanted to push Ghana card. Yeah, no, a general form. Me recent now make kind say see or see. Import a free Abroche nkwa enema yakọ krabate o yesi apese Ghana yeye nti na me tell say ya no former mache da betimi abegire kumase be ka kire say odi apple ba kumase na engineering ko obeye adanya obebubu Accra Kumasi road kra yenye Accra Kumasi road President Kufuor start ye besi ne we haven't been able to complete it. Your politicians in this decading nature as gracia me ka say they are busy packing money to go and pay as next tranche. The LGBT won't talk on minority ni majority. When you are the vim, more can't talk about LGBT unnecessary things. Ku Accra Kumasi road. Yen to me yan a double road. More can't talk about that. More sponsor private members build it that. In Kwasa. A better matter than Casodi. Because of Ghana for the admin of form on himself or Benyamo. And this near a mama, where Okada, where I get we promise. Nanado soon I bear promise. They Biomo Shabo, that dream of form. Omun himself, one Shaba would to be with it. At Mama 2012, said Mama Tiako Shabo, say, what Shabo, sir? As one said this time, or Shabo baby, because who said, say, can one on a Ghana for you not going to take grad, sorry for no. Ghana for no, you and I that grada, the church members, no. Yet you were form. I didn't know what form the ever be a better finance. I said, issue where I'm making people will not like it. This is what they like. Young can't pass him. And for my young Kumaja, how many years? Make us all come be a leaders about 1 hour already, a man. Okay, and more important banner. For fun can't go may import it. They are all important because who the cocoa, one said down the need the oh, on Subaka Bridge. No importer. And more and so the brochire dia be long grain rice. And so Ghana dia ho me Ghana mo na me di. In fact me kwa asutware ho na me koto me mo. Me mpe broni bibia. Me koto asutware de na me di natural one. Nya de different Vietnam ma ye di ahye container mo na di 100 years akofa we abre ne di aye. The place where the leadership come in is see enya leadership omo ye bold wa. Leadership omo dwene e de ehia ma ye nya de fata. Ti say de cheda ye hia de ehia enne. The emergency about catapult your mind into the future and no here. And you be the next say you're Ghana for it. No, and think out tell that Kumasi won't say Kumasi find yet. Kumasi congestion or traffic now by peso. Kumasi even the planning of minor crying issue. Kumasi for pay JDA, Sika Okronimo, and these are the things that we bet me accelerated growth. No, Nanka first, Nanka Kumasi is one of the places and Kenya Driane. Ashanti we Uba Buam Adani food basket. You bet me a beer banche. And then I didn't be out to be including drinks now. You know the Ghana. A far sukro suna woman every banchim. Banchi sweet nano every banchim. Ghana is, I think, is either here the second largest producer of banchi. Banchi, yeah, the second largest producer of banchi to be fine. Yet, banchi, a tin tomato say, a fire banchi womb. Banchi, yet, constant. And to win the ammo, you see a tampon abong, a tampon co school, a tampon tibrofu to a tampon to read a bro Miami airport. Yeah, your co school negosi saying. Yeah, you saw there, no, and you can't blame a tampon. You can't blame the leaders and the people are part of it. The people Ghana card example, I'm Maui. Obisu, I Ghana card, the boy, and then they that. You build the credit system because see, I want you soon. So get the credit card, I would better iron. What the better a computer? What the better idea? I won't share in now. So I don't know brand so from that is why I broach it. I want you coming to me back Ghana be premano. Because of that credit card, the to me this car also borosica credit card. No, the above or the above Ghana, no about the chili. Or the above Ghana, no about the children and broach the baby living paycheck to paycheck. But because of the credit system, it's a what? I'm pretty by a JC and pay. And so Ghana card, Mahama Mumponesta, who first started Mahama the Twaso, on your pure pay Ghana card and call map of Sadumosica, someone cost one yet, a Ghana card, no crime upgrading. No, Mahama was even looking at so synchronizing Ghana card, no, and NHIS card, meaning all into one card. She said, the Abrochokuta driving license back on, everything is on it. Everything, social security number, everything is on one card. A brony bay, a general form. Yes, it's here, East Legon, Airport Hills, any others you are joining into Minko East Legon level. A general form. A brochoko almost zone, HOA. I don't quite know. Say that who sit there and painting a day, not done why a Tantanta, Ghana, a general form, as you have Pablo Chatna. General form. Missy Ghana, Kwanema, you imported, and you're not doing imported, and yeah, they say you're top imported East. And important imported here from China. $10.43 billion. Yeah, America, you go 2 stocks. You're from Statista. Not correct. And you import if you have Rochile Bank one. Across by 16%. In total, imports I import your name a crefia Rochile Kwane $14.65 billion. $14.65 billion. Who did you tell me? Yeah, you did taster and get away importing your mama. And baby, importing your market, see your cars. Cars importing Kwano out of the 14.65 billion. Cars inquire imported by a Ghana. Vehicles, railway near money are there, and then Yama importing any 10.43 billion. Yama imported the Ghana, no. Ghana, Yama imported total and no. Oh, Nina, your dollar in the econo. Dollar na kebe jira Ghana economy no na boa sustain Ghana economy no ye importing chewing gum any toothpick na ka factory no Ghana can boy but yet what check that for the epobeba Kumasi a job be create wo ho Kumasi keke na kasa job se na create wo ho kwa that keke na kasa Kumasi atantime na kasa jobs ahe de ya wona kasa cocoa gold timber ni ade no kwa yet one abrofo no cry they call because brody na wuse uni nyansa you didn't answer you bet me manage the warranty. Or not in the secret, maybe between us, yes, colleague, but you call my 5% royalties, yes, colleague, I get 5% near the come and see. Vehicle importation, Kwano. Ghana's total goods import amounted to around 13.6 billion US dollars in 2021 compared to other goods and services in machinery, representing the main import category. In 2019, Kwano, Ghana imported 1.3 billion US dollar worth of motor vehicles. Ready just 2019 or near 2021, the end course, 2019, Kwano. For transport persons and goods, for the transport of persons and goods, the same year, 2019, Ghana registered transport equipment import worth approximately 1.7 billion US dollars, which is just a Ghana. Your import from China and Akosua or more extra, and then look at another one. Your import from the same year. Ghana registered transport equipment import worth approximately 1.7 billion. Furthermore, the nation does not only trade in goods but also in commercial services. Import me at the end. We amounted nearly to 10.7 billion more than Sikani Yakwajo IMF. This is the 2019. Having registered generally an increasing trend since 2009. Do I don't put for the import you? I don't put for the import you. Before you come here and come and do unnecessary politics, you know, man, on your money future. Now, the chairman say, yeah, you have to committee that I check. Yeah, better as Gashama, all 275 NDC MPP MPs. Obia reject your budget. Tell me after the need still. Obia, they are topping it. Obia Coca, and private members will see a rules. Obia private members will say, motorway, not that, I don't just trap. That last year accident, you see, Manipa Poly 20, in one bloody accident, one single one accident, Nipa 20 in a year. I'm going to private members bill. In say, one way here. In say, 1 year. And a year come to our parliament. Billy, a pass here. More force president on sign. The other moment, the boots at the ground, you change the other bear and crop for better life. But when you have to only you said Ghana 4 year per year, pass the ability to say, LGBT, that is what we want to hear. We are more interested in concerns than fire who you'll be on them. More than say, a Juma baby, a Benya, if I may say, LGBT for your monamwe, so you might hobby and walk over LGBT. Matter why a video. Now, come do now, paid. I broach her. I come on the ratio TV and family before me to come broach it. Now, when you said, I must say, a kind of LGBT, I said, no, quite broach. Who bones on in my bontin. I don't want to be a video. Obia busy. Holland, busy. Germany, busy. Belgium, busy. France, busy. Denmark, Norway, Finland, they are busy working, chasing trade. Or catching up a train a Kwajuma. How the possible and conform maybe a bear money, bear mama, so they are busy. You get busy in say, we are interested one heck of a girlie, and Ghana 40 TikTok, some one year can grassroots issues. And the anime, ya san fear that one on who free or they say, who sit tamale now drive ya president mama mukromo body assassin that was a full ala road left and right and assassin flat and that was a front place assassin that conquanta clutch assassin that was you bet me a Emma Diane more bro by yere banche ya dia kwakot anwa brochre ya nyesika there be ya dream your coins. And this is what we have allowed our politicians to lead out on. Shaniama ye imported. Yeah, the $10.7 billion importing yama from abroad. Yeah, ya fetchira papa IMF chow more 3 billion. About the 10.7 billion importing se wig, chewing gum, ammo, garlic, fish, ango. Ye importing way in an yadeba. Ye importing way in a yadum a beer to sabroche and give it. MBA. I don't know beer to sabroche again or farm. Yeah, no. Test the new one, nobody will go and import. Test the new one. We are looking for the kind of leader or being boldness to say that Nyama way. Yeah, Kati import no by 50%. At least you're cutting from 10.5 billion to 5 billion, 5 billion better or money. Yeah, find your factories. Near Mana, for China, but they move for a bit me. We give a bit me factories. Yet, the individual darling here. Mami time I was see factory will have on chair come to 2. Darling hair, yeah, wiggy. Mami see factory will time come to 2. And factory no ho. Individual no see factory. Yeah, to. And yeah, this sika we nyina kwa abroche 2.6 billion at 2024. Yeah, do kokra ne ma no ni say 2.6 billion. E mu fire away. Praye, ya kokra ne nyina by 2022. Yeah, the kokra ne ma we nyina by. Them say I blame Ghana for. Yeah, I blame Ghana for they pay a new. Other part of the document, na me fa me penny for him. I say other principal trade import commodities in Ghana are minerals, fuel, and non-fuel. If some person me show mu graph be. Na mo be crude oil no kwa to be Ghana no. You imported if you are broche ba. Crude oil to Ghana no. You imported a bit self you are broche ba. Ghana for your businessmen or Ghana brody be ye. O man ko OMCs ni be achi. And yeah, crude oil ni be no. And that is why Tamara refinery eguno. See, what businessmen are Ghana brony be musika mubenya amukwa mudi be sit down airport hills. A building of Ghana. Any the future of Ghana into no di nisika no ko imported petrol, no the aba. We imported diesel, no the aba. We imported kerosene, no the aba. No atoma aban. Ne ye ton of fuel stations. What I say? Me wanna Tamara refinery go. And ka businessmen ni namu ye se mu importing ma. Mama yam fa crude no go ye oil Tamara refinery nim. Na ma kese wo want to minji pay. Na ma kese wo want to minji o social security. O mu nje minji o taxes nka Ghana be ko na ni Tamara refinery is dying. Tamara refinery is dying. Vako kra ye nya kanea. Dia power vako na vako tumi aye adwuma. Vako oda quarter clutch. Vako esi one da quarter clutch. Me say the politicians nko o. Ghana for no. Yeah, businessmen no ni ade na me say that is why I tell that eye bold or see on the epo beba kuma say. Okan ya se tira ma mu tie. I said if you are Canada obe eye business people no and sika na e mo tie. Someone tie. Yeah, about me, I think I can't monty. My say more can you muntie. Into a bit can you buy more debt? Why yet to say, I saw him, mamma. Modern day fake Christians, Sunny, Ghana voters, yeah, you're super your modern day Christians. I'm broke. Yeah, prescription, I best young quadiano. Yeah, probably brochure, hey, over one way, hey, over what is sikeni, hey, over is cankawu to me, a handkerchief commercial for some fine out. Now would you be crazy? Yes, no, Ghana, no. You import near de ba no see. Fuel and non fuel near my deba. Tell me, fuel you cry to be Ghana, and you say imported biba. Or see, fuel imported into the country amounted to $82 million from 2020. Fuel and ye imported their back Ghana. 2020 $82 million. Now, me 2016 picture it went over the roof. If I show you the graph, and this amount signified a significant drop compared to the 2011. That's why he's saying, say, even 82 million a drop, because if I show you the figures from 2018, this is what statistics. Ghana for we only approach for no my own research about Ghana. $82 million no come see I know from because from 2011 everybody in 2016 say any photo of crude oil, any natural gas or brochen and yasem ketwa kra. That's what the report is saying. Or say Ghana imported close to 5 million barrels of crude oil, while natural gas natural gas import reached 18.7 trillion. 18.7 trillion British thermal units in 2021. Ghana, the West African country, also depends on agriculture import, subsequently satisfying the nation's needs in the field. The annual increasing proportion of food merchandise, import, almost we cannot overlook it. Let's look at 2020. 2020 imports, Ghana import a food industry, mainly consisted of cereal. The entire major say, you beer to sabroche, a drained your son, and the form and the team, and the money to attack the crowds in Momonti. Fast carry farm, well, why the cow Momo, one person bet you just for Madame for so, Naminko Discano. Cereal for Yedi, you take a house of Coco Yedi. I don't have cereal to me back up pay as import. How the Coco Yasoya Yedi? And then happening house the Coco Coseno. You know my beer and then the cereal, any cereal preparation, any meat, any idea, fat, oil, for instance, amounted to amounted to $200 million US in 2020. But then another they import. You know, see, and then another lady. And then they Rebecca Kufuad lady. Yeah, Ghana for ya anyway. Yeah, Ghana. Yes, see, to buy no money to best say. Yeah, buy me a president. The place where the leadership come in is say. Yeah, leader be a bit more bold or cassette. Yeah, see, I did yeah, Beba, you be import 5% to pay. 5% to pay. The Akenya, the Auza Cocondia go. The Auza Coco, Equeg Bemi wo ho, Oblayo wo ho, Undia ko. Oblayo wo ho, Equeg Bemi. Approach for ya, approach ya, Auza Coco. Auza Coco, ye ya more than yet Ghana ni Syria. Ediani, and name a Diani, Diako, Ediani, Diako, and Wako, keke. $200 million. Ya more than this nation, you better build it. President Biaba, oh to me, Mahama Botchana, you ought to mean your magic. This is side the money. At the money, you see a fire noom. Now you see a noom, you have to see a geno. She attacks. Now money to tax here, the tax here, you man. Money to tax here, the tax where the year, you man. Near the here, and he said, Uno and I'm so shabby. Ye dear Tama Ghana and change. Koya, dear Tayokoya, yes, I offer import a fair brochure by a jack house of coconut. Kaden Syria. Even palm oil and go cry the Kragana for import. Yeah, you talk. Talk a day and can't take a for Niska. Yeah, talk palm oil. Near money important. This is a brochure for almost set to my Bagana. No, Syria preparation, meat preparation, fat, oil. For instance, palm oil imports amounted to $200 million in 2020 alone. Just 1 year. Sugar, a six confectionery in Kuano. 2019, Koya spent $158 million in 2019. Sugar and Kuano. And the Commander Sugar Factory, Airpro. A brony bayenti, Airpro. Sugar and Kuano imported $158 million. Normal way is serious. He has to crab obesu. And Jesus will weep because of Yang. Jesus, he will weep because of us. A brony Dawson. We are not willing to do the right thing. We see Cheddar on your way, we are when we are doing our form, the Obayani, when we are doing our form issues, here to say these issues, a coming new me on Ghana and Kosovo, Ghana, anymore. It's not important to us. Okay, better than I can't. We end this MPP near a way. No, my Kabia changes, and this is what Kabia MPP. That is what Ghanaians want. And they ever call grassroots politics. Why are politicians promising and promising and promising? How many of us in Pony question politicians? We are not questioning fire. Yeah, 200 Ghana city, near a t-shirt, no. Near MPP force an air rally. So I rado. That's all we want. A genie at the buy analysis. No. 200 million. Yeah, they imported Syria. Yeah, they imported Syria. And the way they are imported from China. And China imported from China, of course, by 45%. You see a factory in Ghana. Let them do see a factory in Ghana. The entire Ghana. There be because when you find a basic factory Ghana for the bear politics. Yeah, the bear politics into imported from China. Say so Obia or imported beer. Everybody wants to import from China. Oh, China bra. Oh man, China bra. China bra. We are all not sitting down to have a good conversation with your politicians that are being important. But the more who from China, and then China for China more. You see China more washama. Now say so Masan Kosibi said Dansumo said then we should sack these people from Ghana. Must see China more to import from China. Not Ghana product, not Ghana for sure they are not more. Miss China more, no mean party or hot. Never pardon me. China more. My brother. Na Ghana nyama ho. Na makoto China more. We must all ya must say na boy ye mo aboso. We must help on money to move forward. I say we will not have any boss to go and question any politician about mining cost work. Because the box also stops with your leaders and also us. People say peace no my this week. Omasa kofa LGBT nyama banana na do na so on. My police excellence now to do baby and I saw thing. LGBT asemi and money ade be kono so asante be di etuo papa ni dem say mo so yeluma nti omo to on omo church letter se fa no ya LGBT bill come parliament for pass aje omo so omo de bebre president no assign we mo sa to letter bill who if you be on your back go to parliament and go and see them say mo de ade na tell for court to mo to we asante be di etuo nya ho to pen I'm type say type and you to letter head so and you ba say and your mama fa mo na the case in because parliament won't take case in your court omo so munim omo jubilee ho nyina bebre no moduma no omo time so mpe baby no mfa they are all letting the president down na fa ho pen atro e di aba monti say dokro ya to dokro 5 cedi monti say ya to dokro 5 cedi ana e jubilee ho monti say import cars and over $10 billion monti wo jubilee ho ana dey monti on letter monti say import chewing gum $6.4 million worth of chewing gum monti on letter o jubilee ho asante be do to no a problem so mo ne kasa pa sa bra no hwe ga no kurasem sa o e wo see change ne ma bi da ya antie seriously obia wo so bia to me I don't know de bia antie metra ne kasa ba Ghana sa San George not San George that's why LGBT asemi the same San George you guys say NDC what power more power no can support LGBT na on can support person or see omo kwa no munye free say LGBT na ba be political too cuz na phone na me say omo we ya dwen omo hu say dwen no form once that we okoye say we against LGBT pay the masses will support you we don't support hey we benya asem we be lose seat say e bia ne galam say anybody who try to say yemba ne galam say o lose the seat obi akafia supporting galam say o we need the seat yeah citizens no see enim dia ya and galam say ya na kasa say anuti na cocoa this year cocoa we could not even make 500,000 metric tons in cocoa galam say no but obi say of fighting galam say there mo say be put ya no for fighting galam say bro of the Ghanaian bro and we will not change see answer say to ba o yakopo be pam ne share kra keke me say o won de anya be wo na ya hwe ewo mu no ho God will deal with us papa I swear to God obe dealing with us papa brother we trim no he will really deal with us he will deal with us papa but I'm saying he say koko obi so yes ye be totia ampa so mu tutia obi a mrekuduka enko ono kran kai da ka de eni obi a we say music kran ka di seat gwangwa we ni nye we say music kran ka we ni abro aka wo ade ni how enti import ya be koso import e mo sika na nke be boa Ghana economy ni nyina be ko ye ni one single emo factory wo Ghana individuals NDC MP you honorable for saying we do am wo the chrome zoom line ye mass plantation of emo zoom line how many times can you tell one sem zoom line o do am June Sati India for the first kube ya bo ani ato atwini wo mo de ye sa abrodi be ye de enye mo bi nka so be ye sack factory ni bi wo ha onipa kron kwa be demonstration tia no make say ya LGBT hun to kwa ye kono teachers cost strike ne teachers conditions of service nye Ghana pon ka ho asem ye wo social media ka LGBT asem teachers are on strike teachers na chira wo mana de no teachers na chira na ya de beduwa they are on strike because of the poor conditions of service but ye join nyina e ka LGBT asem as if say teacher for hia ni wa LGBT law Nigeria for party omo de 2014 wo mu tumi che one human being Bob Risky bunya Nigeria no mo tie James yo se wan no mo da bi kwa ko twa omo be makura firo Nigeria no mo tie Nigeria party LGBT law 2014 omo tumi che one single so kotre promo che no kotre promo che no wa Nigeria kotre yet we see a time on LGBT the here no e ma kwa wo so wu accident 20 people are dying in accident yenye road ni motorway and death trap and comfort papa mi neighbor bi wo concentrate jogging estate o motorway ya de cool no medical student wo and can now one kolebu agent conform man kwa we are silly yenye papa o mani wo mu yenye papa the citizens are part of the citizens they have 90% of the problem 90% of Ghana issues I don't know push MP umusa MP say one of the last time MP call parliament eko kan first road asem Ukromu Road, Busa went to one of the last time front of Parliament and debating about poor road conditions. There be and so yeah, LGBT. We see in Nigeria for passing on 2014. Kotre coming to me, Kotre. Now, law no ya Ghana ya law no crack more ya licking. Tafri Muscovich, winning a law, say your offense. More ya blow job, winning our law, say your offense. But what? Because the law cannot go to anybody's bedroom. Tell me, Kwame, say BJ no crowd of communion film. Come go baby, yes, I did, and to a million film. And so many ashamed. Because I will prepare, young passing law, mom passing law by the road. Mom passing law says it's a criminal offense. Say, a man 28, no near to money, a criminal offense. And I'll say a criminal. So a branch I was to 28 when near to my Ghana. Why frustrated? We inquire rush it. What in the first person in your Kogu is what? No, I should be, I know about that. It should be a criminal offense. So branch no more, not on your Jumanya, or minding to me, man, stipend, be at a photo on the DD. It should be a criminal offense. Basically, you pay your money, you more the GS Gracia. Momo S Gracia, they won't call you private members bill. See any law, you pay S Gracia near you, S Gracia, they through. So to today, it's 275. Nobody has seen it fit to say, oh, private members bill against S Gracia. What you want to talk about for the Dimisika, but when you know the S. And so Ghana for was here through all this hypocrisy and all this double standard. Yeah, and you do rado, and we are supporting them blindly and foolishly, and they will continue to fool us. And I that can who see again or for just so they upon them. Monchamp no kumase. Ye bebu nkofo there, you know. Oh Lord. The yana me one near be one may here. Then was that I put on your mistake, or no matter so that. Omo 32 years out of the 67 years of Ghana's independence. 32 when this NPP na so. And so your question party for me na party full soldier big now online say I don't question me party. I don't question me party what do at them abro and he said Jimmy. Parties me na omo no ma be fa Ghana near my importing their parties we mu na e de buy. Ye gold that bro free the coin na ye gold. Because party me enu ni nyina omoti o man obuna ekuta 2 minutes o betu ya kase import crude oil. Mama crude oil ne menu o Temara refinery ni create jobs e wo Temara refinery ni create America ba na Temara refinery wa another one water credit. E Temara refinery wa another one. Me ka say China for no magu ye Temara refinery aba be bu another refinery o Temara abro said it. Don't blame Obi, we should blame ourselves. The voters are general form. People will not read. How many people read that they are making? And go, I am one kede, and we are zomi, and ape, and wo papa, a great and go, Nini nebi work kede. Quite be the whole of quite be brave. A Juma Casepa, we are honor, as we importing and go $200 million. A bro for research, I made $200 million. Brony dear. A brony bay and a brony bay and kebese. A brony bay, Kobe Bini. We will not question anybody. You will insult someone. Because I'm now insult here. Bema come at all yem. Who yes so akakofa Kumasi Road akokun. Enter President before you Kumasi Road. Enter by now say the road no cry a double and kaya. There be overka kwan so crack Kumasi and now yem show. Correct Takradi Road. Correct Takradi Road. Me no ka say ya. For obi a woni no Takradi busa say Takradi Road it say. Road na say boom 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 chukutaka. The last time I'm fat Takradi. Chetaram camera ho. Kwame Nkrumah Takrade. The Takrade Habo City Takrade. And the road ninye. Takrade. Now Takrade road in Pony and Asankewa road in bedding. Fanchine better me talk bedding. Jenny bedding. Ah, Wale bedding. Eh? Yamanchine bedding. Fatanta bedding. Ah, Sabulugu bedding. This is a you don't know. Your road to cry. Road to Kranye, and yet you are comfortable sitting there and laughing sheepishly with politicians. Kobenya 200 Ghana dinty, you are laughing, and they are on the grassroots level. A brony bayeno of the grassroots level. No, Koyan say drink. Naya Junina inform me the kind of vote we will vote. Naya Junina to and determine say a 2 baby are, and you are not say what conduct. That's it will be our ham. Now condition bo a ham. Air condition was a good 7 bread out of 2 more. And yes, sir, you must question the person you give power to. Question mano objective. So you are 2 or because you pay A, B, C, D. And yet you have a GD. Ukwa kokai road asem. Ukwa kokai a school asem. Ukwa kokai hospital asem. How many hospitals they all Ghana? I did a 111 advice and when was the last time I monitor it? Check compound a mahama time. Or see on the ministers will be at the pay cut, 10% pay cut. Normally, the Sikana Kwako chip compound. How many of those chip compounds were built? What was that? What okay? Who was a media in your mamma? Yeah, Jimmy, John, me boy. I'm a attempt. Say I'm power by 70. Ah, he blocks them. I'm a see and do those on movie. Do those and another buy what was so. How much money went into it? What's your can you see airport? You see Bank of Ghana Hospital, Rage Hospital, University of Ghana Hospital. How much money went into it? Said can you give me the C2 and I'm for 10% and I said, you see, I saw a person, Saglemi housing. Sika $200 million. I cost Sikariman for what this cano. Yatianum ye Zue, Yazani, Yeshirado. Ya Jenny will form citizens. A Jenny coins. Ya Mayani Anawa, ye Bayer NBC near people say, 32 years no, my baby. No, on be saying another 32 years account, still Ghana will be the same. You see, Koshe, I do Chumkasu or yes STEM program. STEM na do Chumkasu or yen STEM, eh? And can the vision also Ghana ye fancy ke fase. Boys say yes, one cyber fraud and net America for FBI for my Ghana bet you munano. Ye for munina good demo. Yes, I see a training of in AI. In the next 2-3 years, what we not been near the AI jobs here by Ghana. No, we not yet. Not case our Ghana there be a bro because who now we vote and I can't count this. I don't know about two MP denim. Now we saw MP say, eh, Jumea SCB, a better than jobs here. Boys say free SHS, I baby it's skinny fear. You bet me acquire and bet me acquire there be we have questions. We will not even ask those questions. A fire. Then you had the womb kakrano. And why okay, my Kakrani, a benny, the bunny, and yet be kakra, we are okay. Yet, the penono, the bedi, and quani here. Mammy, reading will comment to you, Amode, but for Sina Brew, I see you, see if you are or name Sunday of your brother. Good afternoon, for Sina. And Emmanuel, I just watching you from Dallas, Texas. Emmanuel, thank you so much. And a Zigma, good afternoon. Economy is so fragile. Do we need also we do not need cosmetic experiment. I've said postulations in here, but more than questions. Let's start with where we are. Me and all kind of Zigma say we shouldn't tickle ourselves and laugh. Me and Nada, who be a young kind of crano. What I tell man on him, no man in front of my pen for Lotus. Was he watching you from Menshia North to Lotu, your child baby? That's why. And Evelyn Smith, I say, how far is the internet in Ghana? Good or bad? Oh, it's good now. It's good now. I'm saying area, no, it depends on area war. And I could send you see them. JD and NDC never came back again. Please, Ghana, be very careful. Someone said, I'm saying they will never come back. Okay. On also no. Samuel Smith also I last for you to make. I say if I listen to you, cry now, I say me su because Ghana and I say, ya say oh my Ghana no my who said your man no cry no echo ebiem cry no so the message or the ascend here and no it's sad when you took like a criminal who are broaching in here or no Ghana no. Now who said Ghana and you leaders and one for or my for na kasa agene form. We don't help our leaders. Me say Mahama ban ne at the money no ya dey crack toothpick cry. What do you say about me cram na? But when you propose a command Mahama meet me a toothpick company. Mama ye chekwa bet me my eh wo de akwa command na do MPP and now de ba o mi ate o ye bet me aye engo company. Ye wo kwai bibrem ye frikede ye bet me bibi de abone tate sika dollar na ye do kofa ngo ba na ye bet me ate so by 50%. Ideas there be obi sorry me ko China. Guess you omunya sika keto bi me ko China. Di ko Dubai. Okofa ntoma okofa we no ase ye GTP designs no de ko muntwa mame abro ni beye abro any beye abro ni beye sa Stephen to say good afternoon lady in fact na no fire uni abema smart mame na see you acknowledge your senior co-workers Chama Jenwane Abeku Santana keep increasing in respect and all that. Okay, also the Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Richard Quintona say if you I and my friend now you have 100 acres of land around Adansia Sopa. Now you have palm nut plantation, but the chief said they will not give it to us because our offer was low. They said they can get higher from the Galamsey people. What I bright and canon. also on that for rich akonton no mo pass ase and ye bia a year first abe I put it that one the bama galamsey for oh what when no do na kasa o when ye e ba ma ba o na kasa o oh also mo the bama galamsey for we ka ho ne koko na for le no mo me ya nko ne ma bi so ye to me make ready that dey ye mpedi for ne sa anya o mo kwa na at fault we the people are also part test ben any ye develop test ben any ye develop test ben ye develop wo man we mu men Victor say if you are still supporting MPP but you are not so near crime Ghana constitution is freedom of association obi atumi support the ope say they will support NDC never must support MPP and Kenya crime enye crime obi our choice say me to be promoti kam promoti me fan ko me fan ko sha me agrada be say me pese me ka agrada atem ni bi me fan ko sha me to me fan ko wo mase wa ho nka me fan ko wo mase enye vote na me beto your first John Dum so I say Ghana there yeah MPs in Kofonia they are all interested in other people they are not interested so be shem rati and fanye yan fan bani as gracia no so hwe ahode omo de LGBT no but this are omo ba conscious level mumbusa omo say chief girl you have run away from Ghana but abroche visa na embassy upa amekwa kojibia ma why don't worry freedom of movement obi our right to come baby ope you can go to Abroche DJ switch ne ma mehwe Abroche na bebo akola no de akola na bet na California ntutu mi call kwan bia ope Ghana for boys omo wo Dubai ebi ye adwuma ho ebi wo Doha omo ye adwuma obi ane baby ope so otena uti ase mimi kunu wa Abroche ti mbetwe si kakra wa Abroche nye crime uti ase hopa no ma give visa ne bia ma hopa upa invitation anu amma hu na ma ye ma true invitation ne bia ma we de enye ntokwa why kwame Obrako support good work done from the UNU team. LGBTQ plus and they let the sovereign will of the people be decided through the referendum. Court near the ending now and shada MY until let the court stay out. In fact, I will call referendum cry and winning. The may always see a vote because majority of Ghanaians so won't pay LGBT. The may always see a time cry on their first say, what I say, Kwame Odro, see that is why we need a Ken. In his all his listening to on Ken he now citing problem if ya okay Ken was solution no but say be yo eno ne asem no what you say John Dum so asem be was journalist ni technocrat no have destroyed Ghana and part journalist for one vote say wa technocrat o munya one vote say wa so mo kasa not a politician crow ya amo amagidi o mo so aye yezu eyeza mo to amo mo so mo ntia what can the technocrats do this week me say if you have nega here engineers in say you are missing the point. Engineer no advice politicians say yenye covered yenye road yenye say ni yenye na politician is on tia what can they do you can't do anything we have knowledgeable people who are advising leaders they are not listening they are not bloody listening what can they do what can they do enti anu asem no Kwadra ban here or see good show if you are good show pa as of TV no say $58 million has gone into a hole. Talk about it and stop attacking Saglemi. Now Saglemi need to go into a hole now. But also our platform, same our platform. So you can talk about 58 million. Why? Obi ane ne the week be a issue I can want them. Until to me decided topic name my and then me can we also can for. Why? You man about phone to me yet. No one media house can talk about all the issues forever. It if me name can grassroots politics, so you can talk about 58. And the actually me can't Saglemi, so I make can't Saglemi. You can't change focal. Obi ane the topic. Captain to was obi determine the topic. O man need to obi determine the topic. Obi ane there. If you don't worry, don't come and insult anybody. Obi aka issues. Focus on what there and talk about Ghana. So all of us must speak up. All of us must speak up. Never go never O'Neill and now the uncle Mary or see if ya busa say I solar energy to me fan generating Kenya Ghana. If I only me ko approach na misua de be na ye me approach lamp ya sama ba omudi sisi for me e solar lamp nketen ko e friend omo from okra saying omo shops be bro omo tonton sa na ma no wa approach. Why can't we have solar energy in Ghana? Street lights e wa Ghana kra no ni ye betimi di solar ye ba unim contract ye dey am obi o Ghana and only pan supply all the street lights more than 10%. Okay, so be street or solar no yeah. These are the issues. I also want to imagine because mom pen no credit. The obeka no kre no mo be soma mo tax e medi na tem. Me start say make as gacha on a politician so mo ko for say me yebem. Yeah, problem o na me hear me it won't change ohia na yetimu no. Me hu me ho anu awie me ko. It's serious. If we don't start questioning people, because you also say if you are make sure live from Australia, Sydney, keep up the good job. Moye and Magnus Otino, Speaker of Parliament, no tit for tat. Any idea or Moye suspension of ministers appeared to approve a certain a bad precedent. I don't know what you're saying. Say tit for tat. Tit for tat. I don't know on what issue. And Benjamin Boatin say if you I haven't heard you mention Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's name even once on your program, but always Mahama. I said Mahama there, oh, you senior chair Bawumia. Yeah, come, Mahama is a senior politician than Bawumia. Bawumia only came into the scene in 2024. What I say, Bawumia the vice president, Mahama was the president to that. Bawumia, in fact, me be answering his own, and I'm going to man. The question, and I'm also answer today. Mahama, and I government in waiting, is the shadow president in the shadows, waiting to come to power. The other is managing the levy. The sovereign power of Ghana is vested in the president on behalf of the people. But did it for there? Why issue no theory pa? Mama de or Adam, don't forget it. Focus on the issue. No, or the white member near Naya, near teacher or mine. Focus on me. See, I know. See, you are an enemy of Mama. I never force a man, my friend. I never force a man, my friend. In any case, me, Mahama, I not to say the who crowd in Mahama, but you are fighting. Tell him more of Polatia and I'm better married to you people cry. I do this. Now, we are importing and go 200 million. You are here busy fighting about who is supporting Mahama and who is not supporting. I don't know issue. Would that stop Biden and go to importing? I don't stop chewing gum importing. I don't stop wigging importing. I don't stop broom importing. Issue based. Ghana, no. 10 million of the population. Nipa who are deciding president, and Nipa 10 million your youth, no. Indeed, Nyansa, all you have to now question about me, Busan, will be supporting Mahama. Where Nyansa, where did you where Nyansa, where Nyansa, say Nipa 20 one accident, road accident, could go for more than anything, followed by BP, cancer, kidney, down to the price covered by NHIS. Teachers in cost strike as we speak. What you have sent message about Mahama Sem? By force Mahama Sem. Mahama Makasem is you'll be on a better answer. By force about me answer. And I won't come by a thousand bob about me any once. What get Jimiano? Tom Ghana youth. Hey, Muja Jimiano. Seriously, Muja Jimiano. Hey, me say but I'm getting frustrated. You do when I'm the president of Channel. Mamma, I'm president. What about me? I don't know about Mohammedi. I don't know about Miedi. And when you had to build Ghana, yeah, your mind is importing $200 million worth of go, wig, chewing gum, toothpick, tea tomato soup. And you see things. Ghana, you're important. You talk to cry imported from Burkina. Then you're imported from Burkina. Who send a message about me? I don't remember with me. Are we serious? You the Ghana 10 million. Nipa to a benina. Mona 10 million. I didn't want to money. I didn't a double money. Tiabeda no mine here. This is how the Kotoban is based on say one ever Mahamadi, one ever Baumia, the Ben or mine. A bad day, no money to make a future. We are doomed, We are doomed. Program will cross me, Shanami Jaya. I'll send me Shanami Jaya. You dress it. You will see a minimum tesioka. Father Cracker Chips in Jaya. I'll send me Yanami Jaya. Father Dixie, I'll say show me Yanami Jaya, Father. I'll send me Yanami Jaya show me. Seriously. Anybody want Ghana and I say, oh, send a message. Sikana nke di mesi factory ama wonye biaye wo fasi bi enye biaye wo kono kra obi benye biaye wo ye djuma ho na ma habo ye ya wo benye bi atua top money get na woni na wo no benye bi ato feeding bottle wo benye bi ato cocoa ye di 200 million import Syria Abra Hausa koko ho. Abra ekwegbe mi wo ho. Oblayo me so no. Ye wo mi ye so ya no pa you kope oblayo edi. Na no papa nye sika kra na ye to oblayo ni bi. Yes Hausa koko ya na ye beto bi. Oblayo ni ye hwe ayi man kugum. Ye di $200 million to import cereal. Cereal. Ghana youth. Mu future no enu ani. Mu ko baby ya. China ni India. Almost the AI jobs. And then one thing that developing forensic data analysis, cyber security aduma. Ghana from Kolakra, papa no di omu nyakwa broche. These are the jobs they are doing. And maybe to be $200 million a year. 200,000 a year. IT boys no Ghana kolana. Omo ya IT. They are making money. Cyber security. Me who Ghana near branch bi awaba online. Origin with face jobs na uka wasem no. Leaders how can we start questioning our leaders about these issues? Hey, Jimmy, hey, Ghana Mantie, ye Jimmy, who? Yes, I know. Ye kill your money future. Hey, Missy Baumia, hey, obey a data. I did where I did my crack and once a month. You bet me they are building a bomb or man upon him. We are not even thinking about it. Well, who bisa when people say credit system na broche for the card, you know. You better in your being your Ghana. Approach those to crack on ton cash you. What the card now? The cut what the card to our budget discount. It is those near 2 CD, auto 2 CD, near tell me a 1 CD. Until you have returned money. You build your credit score. Oko bank and you have your cash to fuck collateral because they have your credit score. These are the issues as a brand here. Who send a message? I don't know Mohamedi. I don't know Baumedi. Mujimio. Missy me the end default you. Your life me have come half o. Ye ente ye beko. Muna muba. Munje Jimmy no na monje. Don't you bro can it here? John Yamano. Hey. Obiso speak about a Japan deal. Now they don't speak a Japan document where ready. Michael Apia. What I will send a message, you know. No cran nanado ne casa. Nanado una send a message, you know. A Japan document when you be working. Jimmy, when you be working, you will not even take the document to read. When you read the document, read. Don't come and do politics. Read the document for yourself. And if you me, also mean how would you know? Read the document for yourself. Read it. Read the document. Huh? Sika do not say about Ghana. You are 32 years. What do how much have you read? Have you checked? Data now, who read it? Who the answer best send message? No, dear, tell you are now coffee. Hey, never let me call the program. Say, yeah, my yen. Yeah, baby, it won't pay my bills. It won't change my pension. It won't change anything. Yeah, my yen. My kid come out there no. Me, you know who? You see, me my year over 20 years. My savings are now okay for me. It's okay for me. You know what? See, maternal mortality is high. It is something we should address as a nation. Just lost a sister a week ago. Obi ko you see, I don't let you obla your office. Young lady, 27 years, or Kawai Ashama girl, or Kawu away and a it choose way. Umbusa MP, Umbusa NDC MPP. The better Mahama Koja platform to Kobusa Mama. Kasa about Gasha. Kasa about a maternal mortality. Ma was a Kasa about a ma. Obi BP cry, who get a bobo in any channel. If they are taking a bobo abroach or a go with that. Obako, they will save him. How can how be send message by hear me? Me okay, why? Be okay. Build your life in future and here. Obi na can sister we 2 weeks ago Ghana so we 2 weeks ago okowo maternal mortality. Oh be she adwuma na speak about Japan. What was the last time I was about me and Mama Tom about Japan? What was the last time I was MP? Unya the boss to talk to your MP to ask him so about Japan. Who be busame? Na me what to abama me. O tax ba me ho. Una ahwe me. Me menjias gasha o. Ah? Ministers now Ghana minister be a man 2 cars unim. Wa wo send message now John. Wo dey send message who Jimmy no. Wo send message who Jimmy. Mate ani mabawa. Mo send message am John. Ah? Minister, we had the 2 cars. What was our questions? Who are the Toman? What was our questions? Maintenance, yeah, man. What was our questions? Yeah, man. Bangalo, modem. What was our questions? If you are abusive words, sometimes you have to do it for them. It's not my style, but sometimes they are not different. Me breaking rules, you know, and then me breaking rules, you know, because followers, you know, they need to get their gumptions right. If their mind is not right, we need to get our minds right. If your decision is based on Ombo Muhammadi, Ombo Ibaomiedi, about what Ben Alkakotono, about what Ben and Alkakotono, can we continue like that? Can we continue like this, Ghana? Professor Akwe Chirade, Connecticut, American University, or also a political science a year, what year Jumache. Prof, good evening, Akwaba.
Yeah, good evening.
How are you there? You going, Nankupa Daroma, yes, you're here. This issue, and ever into grassroots issue. Mabembusa generally about Ghana voters. Oh, the issue that I was talking about there. It looks like Ghana for we are not able to number one, determine right leaders. Number two, even ask them, give them say agenda. Almost say, look at the figures I was talking about. You're importing over $200 million for necessities. That we can do in Ghana. And yet, look at the answers, the question that the voters are sending. Look at you are not mentioning Mahama. You are not mentioning Baumia. Does it give you maybe an indication of the level of thinking of the voters in Ghana? You are doing to say, Professor Penny, do you think it can invoke or it can solicit good leadership for us?
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Let me say what a big welcome and to your viewers. My starting with the African Union recently, the summit in Addis Ababa, and one of their themes has to do with education, right? And so, what's education? Education in which area? And what dear Ben area? Is it education to educate the people?
No, right? But I think in the African Union, Nakasa realized that ignorance for Africa, and only idea one of the things they come here, Anna. Did they realize the ignorance?
I want me and see him say this is what we are trying to do. But we know the internal politics of all the African countries, right? That I don't want to use the word ignorance, right? Where majority of young right? They can't read and write, right? There's a difference between being ignorant and not being able to read and write. Because you don't have any kind of formal education, it is very, very hard for you to make rational and logical decisions. So most of the decisions that you are going to make is going to be based on your emotions and on how you feel, whether you like this person. You will not be able to really rationalize something as to whether this is good or this is bad. So, and the word ignorance, is just too hard for me, correct? What you said, because me and you, we are educated, so we are able to make cost and benefit analysis, right? To rationalize things and to make good decisions, or to be very, very analytical. But right? The person is not educated, the person cannot read, or the person cannot make those analysis, right? Those are the vulnerable ones. So I don't like to say, but you should say word, they are ignorant. That is just too hard.
Okay. But what's the statistics? The Electoral Commission for statistics now. Nipa about last elections, 17.5 million. Out of this number, 10 million youth, 18 years to 30, I think 35, 34. 18 years to 34. This is the bracket. They are the largest group of people. Decide whether NDC nebefa, whether MPP nebefa. This is the group that determines the leadership. And yet it appears that some group was a problem, no. Some group was, I don't know. That's our group when mostly politicians who use last election 2020. To 8 people no they are in this category. Age group no in this category.
And what you have to say 8 people no because on a show that I had some time, that was a fight between the NDC and the MPP. NDC's 8 people died. MPP says 6 people, but let's put that aside. Who say 10 million people fall within the youth group, right? The question we need to be asked is say, how many of these people have jobs? Right? It is about you having a job and you moving on with yourself. You are always thinking about what to do. But in our case, no, that youth group now, majority of them are what? Unemployed. So for them, no, it's about getting up and surviving on a daily basis. On Juma, and say majority of them probably may also be men because majority of them AMM. And for men, it is very hard for them.
Yeah.
You try to figure out something out. Either you become a side chick and you're basic idea. But Bema dear, what we say, it's very tough on that particular person. What you say, so it's about survival of the fittest. And he said, MP way back, I say, Madam, the two be way. That is what becomes a problem. It is the unemployment in the country. People, the young men have to survive. And secondly, too, there is what we call what? The Islam problem, right? The Islam problem in the whole of Africa, right? And most of Omuamuye, they tend to find themselves in the zongos. Right? It is across the whole of Africa. If you go to the Sahel region, right? Most of the people who commit all those crimes in the Sahel region are people coming from that particular religion. If you go to Nigeria, most of the people over there from that particular region. If you go to the Horn of Africa, that particular region. If you come to Ghana, the northern part of Ghana, right? That is the situation that they find themselves. So we have another power which has to do with Islam, right? Where the politicians are taking advantage of these people to commit all these atrocities. We should put the blame on the people, on the youth, because they, first of all, they are unemployed, right? So if they are unemployed, they have to find ways and means to survive.
So they are using them. The unemployment account, the frustration, and that really explains it for me, because like you said, as a young man, by 28, I'm frustrated. Because they are frustrated, yeah.
Absolutely. But I said, when in 28 years, when you're in school, degree, if you might be a 5,000 Ghana cedis a month or 3,000 Ghana cedis a month, why would you worry your head over a politician? Because you are trying to build your life. But here is a case where we're in school, you are frustrated, right? And anything that comes your way, you will take it just for you to survive. That is what I say, a man, they have their own way of surviving. And most of the time, atrocities, a man don't count. Because by the close of the day, she will find ways and means, right, to survive. But Bema, right? So
out of frustration, on the side,
out of frustration, correct.
But like I said, I do not back on my anymore. Wait, Sanya Manyama say, no, Yankodi elections, the Chinianko, Yankoya Bonena, Yankokumi, a beba from the bois.
Absolutely.
Jobs are in a beba from.
Correct. So, my politics in Ghana, so I mean, these sort of things. I used to have what they call a pressure group, right? Young people in Russia, right? I was able to organize them. We were committing all kinds of things. So I know it. But Russia,
Russia.
Absolutely.
Russia.
Yeah.
Now, also, we are full soldier.
Now, we were group here, a pressure group, right? Pressure group where we mount pressure on politicians, right? Majority of the young boys now, so, you call MP Wefie, you call GB Kakashen, you call Wefie, you call Chairman Wefie, you call Wefie. That is the way people survive. But why would you be worried about a politician? So it is unemployment and the Islam factor, right? Islam as a power, because in Africa, we don't see Islam as a power.
But it's a power.
Islam is a superpower in Africa.
Okay.
Because the moment you think that way, then you should look at the influence of Qatar, look at the influence of Saudi Arabia, look at the influence of UAE, right? If you think about Islam now, then you are looking at the influence of all these countries on the African continent.
So, Prof, not just with jobs, we can change the trajectory. So the question is, I don't know, two major political parties. I don't know why is job creation not their issue, because they are okay and say, from even atrocities, crime, a better form. Like a job creation should be the number one for any politician when they come. Out of your 60-something years of independence, when this in the MPP, or when you're 32, why are they not prioritizing job creation?
Okay, the other woman said, we are now in a global world, and we have been so much consumed by what is happening on the global stage. Also, you are talking about digitization. You are talking about national. The thing that you are talking about, that these are things are air trending. Like that is what is interconnecting the world. But that is not the way we should go. Who can Ghana export or import into the country? What I said, look at some of our imports. We are importing rice. We are importing toothpick. We are importing chicken. These are the basics. For example, Ghana, probably like you can say almost like 40% of our population are involved in agriculture.
Yeah.
Right? In the rural areas. Come to the United States, almost 2% of American population are involved in agric. And to what I say, what is the difference? Because in America, almost used to capital intensive machines. And in Ghana, you use labor intensive, which is human beings. And human beings cannot produce the things that we need to feed us excess. Then we can sell the excess to get money to invest into infrastructure and to industries. Until we are not caught up in the global world. If say somehow kind of rice, why can't we work with KNUST, right? For us to be able to build tractors and machines designed for our own economy, not buying it from outside. When you are buying from outside, you are using what? Foreign exchange to buy it.
Exactly.
And it's going to create problem for your economy. So why don't we use some of these research institutions, right? We are still in Ghana, right? Why are we not using steel? Because if you are talking about industrial revolution, it was all about steel. If you have steel, that is when you create what? Industrial machines to do the thing that you are supposed to do internally. But because we have been caught up, we have been caught up in the global world. And focus on we are not focused.
Okay. And you are saying the global issues in basic level, which is the DNA, everyday bread and butter issues. No, I cannot make me a cutting import near this kind of a morning at the end of battle.
Absolutely. You are talking about chicken. Almost what? Planting for food and jobs. Right? That is a good program. Right? But at the end of the day, how did it end up? It didn't end up well because we've not paid attention to the right things. We should be industrially technological savvy. And maybe we are importing. If we have a development plan, we are going to work. I say, any tech for a working that we can produce local machines, which is for our economy. We do not have to buy the machines from outside because auto machines from outside, you are buying problem for yourself. When you bring the machines, now it's a you have to buy spare parts. Spare parts, you are using your hard currency, your foreign exchange to buy those things, which is going to create balance of payment deficit for you. So we should work with the technical, with the institutions, so we produce these things, deal with our own internal problems first. And now for the past 30 years, we've not focused our attention on.
Yeah, but I don't know, can we blame the leaders? Because it looks like Ghana foreign citizens who ought to let the politicians know who say important thing in ye hear a Juma, ye hear a great improve. Coco in craft Fernando put it a question by you. Only by see if baby no they are my gold. He has given us something that is to me so. Between last year and last 2 years, cocoa production fell by 500,000 metric tons. We could not even make 1 million. Baby, how can and toast your crafty booking and ediba, Jane, the free booking and ediba. If we're able to even focus on the way, we can create jobs for these young men and young women. But the Ghana for Nankasa, so you're doing these issues with. Why are the people that are supposed to be interested in Myanmar and form who are not interested in Omaino? Why?
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. A global world. So we the people are Ghana. We are seeing things on TV, and we want those things. But it's everything boils down to the government. The government has to make the difficult decisions. That is what government is all about. Do the difficult things, not the easy things. Because if you are going to do the easy things, no, the people are going to see that you are the problem. Make the difficult choices. Say, this is the direction that we are going to go. Because at the end of the day, the people will come back and blame you. So make the difficult choices. Like I said, digital is good. We are catching up to it. But we should not focus on the basic things that we need to focus our attention on. If you go to China, right, they've done the right things. For the past 40 years, the Chinese have done the right things. Right? So iPhone, they'll be able to develop themselves technologically. And that's the benefit that they are getting now. But we didn't do that. Right? So because we didn't do that, and now we are importing China's problem into our country.
Exactly.
Look at it, railway. Look at building some of the things on the African continent. Who are those doing that? It's the Chinese. So they are always taking money away from our economy. So inflation will keep going up. Our currency will keep always getting devalued because we fail to make the difficult decision right from the get-go.
Rob, when you the leadership, let me ask you about leadership. NDC and MPP, you've seen, I said, over the last 6-8 months, it's been promises after promises. Now, more who say, I don't know if, like I was saying, no more way, who say, we the voters, we respond to promises. And especially NDC, Mahama is promising from 24 hours economy to I will legalize Okada, I will do this, but Omia is promising it there, and I may a flat rate, and I cheddar, a branch in the Afro, say, Mama, they are procrable Kumasi. Is it that
politicians are always thinking about the next elections? Like American, our people are not very, very sophisticated. Somebody is waving a shining object at you. The person is just waving it, right? So it's a shining object. You'll be attracted to it. And because you are not a rational person, right? You are not very analytical. Won't you be some question? Say, at the end of waving, what is it? What is it that you are waving? Right? Mama or Makasa can say, what? When they can, if God give them, he used the word, God give them the opportunity for them to come to power. There's no physical space. Or say, because of the IMF program, there's no physical space. So if there's no physical space, when you are making promises, and there's no physical space, how are you going to implement those policies? Since there's no physical, on one case I can say, there's no physical space for you to operate. So, and he said what? They are going to put a pause on government programs. And if you are going to put a pause on government programs, why are you still going around and waving a shining object? Right? It's because the people are not very, very analytical. The people are not rational, right? Because majority of them are either uneducated or are making decisions based on emotions or are unemployed. So they say, hey, I'm going to give you this thing, then they just jump into it. What I say? Because Onwakasa Kaye, I've listened to him several times, right? Onwakasa said the IMF program leaves Ghana with very limited space, right? So when they come, they are not going to start new projects. He said they are not going to start. So if you are not going to start new projects, what is it that you are promising again? That's what I'm saying, that it's difficult. See, most of the things that they are saying, they are saying to people in the rural areas, right? You are not come to Accra and tell people in Accra certain things, but people in the rural areas, they are not listening to the news. Look here, some people don't have internet service, radio, battery, or some battery. The person does not have all these things. And anytime you go there and you wave a shining object, the person is just going to buy into your shining object.
So I don't know. So how do we get ahead of this? Because this is the grassroots level now. Yeah, one form everyday voters. No, these are the things they listen to. Party slogans, rally messages. They're na Mahamaka, they're na Baomiaka, they're na Weka. And like I said, say I'm passing, there's no space for economy. Like I said, Baomiaka, it's possible to obey me.
Well, I've not heard him say anything about, because last week, he said he's going to create a national health something card for babies. If you live in the US,
now Ghana card not for babies,
you live in the US. Tell me anybody who's below the age of 18 years who has an ID in the US. You don't have an ID. You only have birth certificate.
Any social security number, yeah.
Correct. If you have an ID should capture what? To capture your fingerprint. How are you going to capture the fingerprint of
when you are not of age? Yeah, okay.
It just doesn't make sense, right? The person has a birth certificate. The birth certificate is a form of identification, or the social security card, right? That's it. When a child gets to 18 years, that you can capture the thumb, then you capture it. So why are we saying these things that is going to cost us money, and we know there's no physical space?
Right? And then maybe say, are the citizens not able to discern, even in terms of even asking these questions? And radio stations say, any program now, maybe I say, and even understand divergent opinions. Say they okay, yeah. People, the citizens don't have any opportunity to question the politicians, and I think that I don't even know whether if they were given the opportunity, to questions are. So where do we get to the point where the leaders will give us value for voting for them? Where do we get there?
Yeah, and I don't know, right? Now people on TV, some of the journalists were reviewing, say, oh, okay. Somebody was asking, say, now even the parents themselves do not have the card. How much more the kids? And I was like, what kind of argument is that? Right? The person is not being more analytical. Say, if you are going to do the card for the kids, right, and it's biometric, what was it? Where the focus is, the didn't focus on that.
On the biometric.
Yeah. The person is trying to make a mockery of the whole thing. Say, the mother doesn't have a card. How do you know that the mother doesn't have a card? You don't know that for a fact. But the issue is that how do you capture the biometric of a 2-month-old baby? That should be the argument.
Well, perhaps for them, they will not capture biometric. They will rather use maybe a birth certificate needed into the card. Then then they can upgrade it.
Lady, a 2-month-old baby, 5-year-old baby, doesn't need a card. Doesn't he or she need a card? The person has a birth certificate and a social security card. That is enough. Why do you want to spend money? By the time the child gets to, okay, are you saying that maybe got this case? Are you saying 5 years, 10 years time, he's going to make another card? Why don't you wait? Maintain a birth certificate, holding on to the social security card. Let the child be 18 and capture it one time.
Okay, Tinaka, almost digitizing birth certificate anymore.
That's
the option you are saying, to digitize the birth certificate.
Absolutely.
And rather Ghana card, no try I need 18, I know I'm on Ghana card no.
Absolutely. The money is not, let me come back to what you were saying. Who said African Union for I can't say education, no? They were right. That because democracy, democracy it is top down, right? The way democracy was forged on us.
Yeah.
I said I am conditionality. So it was from top down. But democracy actually is from bottom up. Right? So when you say that education, Marjorie say, oh, that means that you are trying to educate the people underground, right? For them to be able to read and write, for them to be able to understand their civics responsibilities, right? So that becomes the function of the NCCE. Are you going to put money over there for them to go to the rural areas, for them to educate them, for them to be able to hold their government accountable?
Okay.
That is the situation that we have ourselves in various African countries. The people are not able to hold their government accountable because democracy is from the top, not from the bottom. And so, can say education, naturally, say, oh, okay, it's going to be civics, education, to educate people, say, this what I expected of you, right? And yes, also an apart, then you have to go to your politician's house. Oh, yes, I know he or she is buying you. Right? So,
so that's what makes so Bahama the one said there's no fiscal space. He himself has said it, but we had the other side. It's not realistic because the technology no come it's not the best option. Let's look at to say a third force for the almost a new force. Cheddar they also the Pobeko Kumasi no. And I don't the argument to making it say Nkrumah was able to construct a water lake. And why should we doubt that Cheddar saw the Pobeko Kumasi? Why should we doubt it?
Okay, the other woman said, I've listened to that young man, right, on several radio stations. Me personally, I don't take him serious like he's really contesting. I don't know, maybe...
Oh, he's serious. He's serious about contesting.
No, maybe he wants to be a kingmaker because he tends to cater to the youth, right? He speaks for the youth. Yeah, so he wants to be a kingmaker, but not like really to win election. Because some time ago, he said he brought some people, Patrice Lumumba, to Ghana. And I was like, all politics is local, right? All politics is local. So why don't you focus your attention in Ghana? People are only on they don't have any stake in our political landscape.
Exactly.
Right. And I saw him on, was it 3 days today, Kumasi, and some of the things that he was saying, I saw the airport. I was like, okay, what is the other stuff? Do we need that or we need railway? So I can say transportation. Why? Already we had the railways over there, right? There were railways. So why don't we develop it from Accra to Kumasi? Right? If it's going to take 4 hours to get to Kumasi, let's focus our attention. If it's going to come all the way from Tema, right? All the way to Kumasi, why don't you do that? But they all kind of say airport, and I don't know. I don't know. It's something.
And the promise ain't yet feasible for you.
See, and I don't take him serious as a presidential candidate. So, of course, he is going on. Like I said, there is a niche in Ghana. You're talking about 10 million youth voting. So everybody is trying to cater for the youth. Right? On himself, he wants to, as a young person, he has to speak to the youth. Right? But I'm telling you, he just wants to become a kingmaker. Right? That is all that I'm saying.
But
have you listened to him talk? He talks like a 10-year-old kid in politics.
Oh, really?
I've listened Matieno several times. 3 days today, I was listening to him and I saw the airport. Now, then they say Saudi Arabia. And I was like, okay, what are you saying? He said, what are you saying?
Okay.
Right?
Maybe that's the answer for you. Say, feasible. But
why do you want to do that?
Okay. It's not necessary for Ghana.
No, we don't need that. Because say you were inland port starting from Kumasi time, Kufuor time. Why don't you focus your attention on that? I said we should focus our attention on we're talking about steel, right? We are still in Ghana. Steel is for the railways or railroad. Why don't you focus your attention on that? And also Dubai for no, don't forget they have the oil money. Right? Dubai, like we're talking about LGBTQI. Obi said, I don't think that the US doesn't go to the Middle East to go and implement LGBTQI. I said, don't you understand? The US acts based on its interest.
Yeah.
Right? So in the Middle East, US interest in the Middle East is oil. Right? In Africa, US interest in Africa is democracy and human rights. So why would they go to the Middle East and be talking to them about LGBTQI? Right? It seems like our people are not reading, right? Why are you surprised that the US ambassador is speaking on it? Because it is in their document. They have a document which says US strategic interest towards Sub-Saharan Africa includes LGBTQI.
But we just Omo interest of Dubai ne Qatar ne LGBT.
And what? Oil is economics. What is U.S. economic interest in Africa? The U.S. does not have any really economic interest in Africa. It has security interest in terms of terrorism.
And that's a good one. That's a very good one. U.S. for no need economic interest in Africa.
What is the U.S. getting from Africa?
Wow.
I'll send you a document.
Truly, the youth are not focusing on this issue. I'm telling you, they don't know.
I'll send you a document. It talks about U.S. strategies towards Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, 2020 to 2022. It is there. The U.S. does not have any economic interest in Africa apart from terrorism and democracy and human rights.
So we take our own economic future into our hands.
Absolutely.
And what starts with they are now kind of Greeks and Greek and toast will be Syria millet. Yeah, the millet was a cocoa, millet to crack a supply my Guinness of one day. Or we are multi for any idea. Ghana bet major and NASA will not need US to come and determine LGBT for us.
No, what is U.S. economic interest in Africa? Tell me, what is U.S. economic interest in Africa? They don't have it. Right? Their major strategic interest has to do with terrorism. Security, they call it delivering what? Democratic and security gains or dividends. That's how they have described it. Openness and open society and what? Delivering what? Democratic and what? Security dividends. This is their interest in Africa. It is in their strategy. They have presented, don't forget, we are in the US. Documents are open. It is clearly there.
And yeah, Ghana unya document. No,
it is there.
Wants to know this genuine question. Prof, this Branty will say. So what are you talking about, Prof? What about our resources? Are they not interested in our resources?
What resources? Your oil?
Your oil need to go.
The oil is what? The oil that they're getting from Saudi Arabia. And they are moving away from what? That to what?
Yeah.
Alternative energy.
Renewable sources, exactly.
And don't forget, the US has the what? The huge oil reserves. That they are not even using. Are you talking about gold? They don't get gold. The gold goes through Switzerland. Then they come to the US. You talk about cocoa or you talk about coffee. The US has ways of getting cocoa from Brazil or from other countries. They do not have any serious economic interest. If the US has serious economic interest, the US will not be behaving the way it is behaving. Because look at what is happening in the Middle East. That is where their economic interest is. Why don't they talk about LGBTQI over there? No, they're not going to talk about it. Right?
Prof, your point is very important. Dear Kwame, I hope you have your answer. Or you go, you know, any America, interested. In fact, America, they have more gold than us. They have more gold than they have more Prof. All resources America could and also Ghana. You crude cry import you Ghana crude oil cry import it. You import crude oil. They don't need your anything. They have enough on their own. The question is, what to mind? How are we building our own resources? And those who cry any be a copy bokina. Their prof can tell you to know. Issues about what I say, how we can use our great to build our own, because even in the absence of US, China now has an interest in natural resources, and also almost so what is left with us, Prof? What is left for us?
And Mikachi said we should be able to look here. Let me tell you something. I had this guy, Sam George, right? He came to the program to talk about
and
he said the US is hypocritical. Why is the US not doing this in and I was like, the US acts in its interest. So on Sam George in Ankasano, that means say US documents now he has not read it. So how can you have a bilateral relationship with a particular country and you don't know the person's policy and strategy towards your own country? So it means that our politicians are not reading. That's what they are not reading. Because Kamala Harris came to Ghana. And said she was not talking about gold and diamond. She was talking about LGBTQI because it is in their document. Right? Look at the US. Was it 3 days today? They had to send a delegation all the way to Niger.
Yeah.
Right? Why Niger? Because they are talking about security. Because Niger is a problem for terrorism. Right? So the US is only acting it in own interest. And
but if our leaders were bold enough to use your resources, boys frustrated, why would the US come and determine for us?
Absolutely.
If our own people were bold enough to determine the right thing. And the question is, how do we the people select the bold leaders to go and sit there so that they can govern us? How do we do that?
And Americans said the only way out is to empower. Yet mean what national NCCE. It's all has to come down to education. Education, and just you have to go and get a bachelor's degree. And I say, but we should be able to educate them about the democracy, because democracy is right? Democracy is from below, right? The US, right? The people give money to politicians, right? For them to run their campaigns, right? So the people are able to hold the politicians accountable. But if you look at Africa, it's the reverse. The politicians who are rather giving money to the voters, right? And it said there's something wrong with your system, no? It is our democracy. So if it's our democracy, we determine what should be done. And so politicians, no, so that we can hold them accountable. But so we cannot hold them accountable. So it's because of the way I am the Western nation, they made it top down instead of bottom up. And the national civic education, it needs to go in and try to change the dynamics. And yes, idea. We are going to be screaming and shouting and screaming and shouting. And
it's very sad. And it's sad when I don't know, Prof. When who Ghana and you who baby I does it worry you? Do you think that Ghana can we get any good leader maybe 2024 or you think say 2028 in a good leader? Why the bet me as Ghana? Does this election year come? Does it give you any hope? Say perhaps you bet me to obey some leader beer or bet me as Sunny Mama and Omuti Aban. Do you see Mahama Baumia or any of the third force people? No, do you see any hope in changing baby a Ghana corner? I'm almost at a hopeless point.
No, is hopeless, right? Because Ghana for can say they own a third party. They want a change, right? Just like or US right now. No? Right now we are left with two options: Trump and Biden, right? Biden is demented. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about Trump. Trump is all over the place, confused and right. And
I think there will be a bloodbath. So I think there will be a bloodbath.
Right.
There will be a bloodbath.
Right now, who say US? I'm trying to compare US to Ghana. Who say RF Kennedy, right? Or back as an independent. And there are some independent parties, the Green Party. They should come together to have one particular candidate to represent the third force. Now Ghana, no. Not yet. We're talking about Kofi Kranti's animal, but look at them. They are spread over the place. Why can't all of them consolidate themselves into one, right? So that they will become a threat to these two political parties, right? And then I have a problem. Ghana says here.
You think Alan Chamartin can lead that? Say the other come more Macanina, Kofi Kranti or Cheddar or Mayo, Ankra or Dikeo, they will bet me the Omunina back there. They should all come under Afrafrantose Alan Chamartin so that perhaps they can be able to change something.
Okay, some time ago, no, now me catch it. I was say, I say I can CPP for no. Before me catch it, I was say, I say CPP for no. Omoni Alan Chamartin to go and talk. Because don't forget, CPP has the name recognition already because of Nkrumah, right? So since they have the name recognition already, they will use Alan Tremantin not to win election, but to build their brand again.
Exactly.
No, it's a Janto or something. Janto.
I'm a general secretary, I think.
Yes.
So they removed her.
They said she was talking. They said she was talking to Alan Tremantin, but she was doing the right thing. Right? Because the CPP, even though they don't have the backing, they already have the name recognition. And now because of Nkrumah infrastructure now, right? They will use Alan Tremantin, right, to build their party all over again. But they should bring him as their candidate, right? So that frustrated CPP for MPP, any NDC, they will try to find a way to entice them back.
So a CPP is the disappointment of the third force. CPP for CPP could have rescued
They are Ghana's biggest
problem.
Because MPP, NDC, they are there. The CPP are there. But they are not able to do something to attract them. So it was an opportunity to say, Alan Tremantin has the name recognition. He has respect from MPP. He has a respect from NDC. So it was a perfect opportunity. So you know what? We are not going to win this election, the CPP, right? But we want to build our brand. We want to get our name back. This guy can help us. Let's bring him. And you see him, right? Maybe he cannot win, but he will help us to get our name back. And I think Janto was thinking in the same line, right? And that is when they said, what? She has to resign. One of the reasons why they gave was that she was talking to Afro-Phantom.
Don't you think say this near people for ya no mako CPP for ni biechi and no masterminding the removal of Nana Janto just to collapse CPP because the argument has been made over the years no this near people form per CPP be because CPP anymore the rise of CPP will mean that NDC and MPP will collapse.
Yeah, but that is politics for you. It's all about your interest. If the MPP have to go and influence what the CPP, if the NDC, it is allowed. It's like sometimes you identify a weak candidate who you know you can beat, then you go and support the weak candidate. So these two parties are supposed to do that. But the CPP, they should also look at what is in their interest. What is their interest? That first of all, you have the name recognition. The name Kwame Nkrumah is on the minds of Ghanaians. Ghanaians and so many structure that has been done. So how do you use Afro-Phantom to build your party from the scratch or to get some sort of goodwill from the Ghanaian people? So CPP has been a disappointment, right?
It's a problem. You know, fine. The CPP has been a disappointment. The issue is that this election, does it give us hope? Says somebody, some leader, be betting me about out. Or best Sangana, be a Konana, or be changing a destiny.
No, the point is that they are Ghanaians. They are Ghanaians in Ghana, either in Ghana or overseas, right? Who have the knowledge, the expertise, the patriotism to do that. But the environment, what he has said,
Ghana environment, no.
Who's in China? He's a fine gentleman. Look at that. It's a fool. I listened to him some time ago, right, on City FM. Ben Avle interview, and Ben Avle was trying to query him into how he was.
Yeah.
You want to be transparent, right? You want to become president. So be transparent with the Ghanaian people. Say, okay, me say. Or say, why are you trying to probe into this? It is not important. I'm here now. No, people want to know. You want to become president. People want to know. Right? It's like I said, me share that because I bosom episode interview because Sabo no is immature. So that they will try to guide him. And Bosom was right. Right? Maybe he doesn't have the right people. They are actually directing him, say, Madafo, be careful of what you say. Because some of these journalists will trick you and they will trick you for you to say things that then later you go back and watch it, be like, oh my God, did I say these things? So I don't think that he has assembled a whole lot of people, right? People with the right expertise and knowledge and experience for them to be guiding him, right? There are people from Nigeria and there are people in Ghana who have over 30 years expertise in terms of journalism.
Joining the party
because they don't take him serious. I mean, America, he behaves like a 5-year-old kid in the candy store trying to get candy. One candy where you want to take it, you want to get it. It's like he's all over the place. Right? Even Tama, before he was, when he wanted to announce his candidature, you don't have to bring people. You have to set up an explorative committee for them to do the on the groundwork for you. Right? Okay, these are your weaknesses. These are your strengths. Let's try to focus our attention on certain regions. You don't have to win every region. Just focus your attention on certain. These are what a consultant and the expert should be able to educate you. But because it feels like I have money, I can do whatever I want to. Ghana, when they come to politics, they are a different animal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. By your description of him, say he's behaving like a 5-year-old child in a candy store, like that.
No, but you know how you take a 5-year-old kid to a candy store for him to buy candy. He see this one he wants, he see this one he wants, he see this one he wants. So he's all over the place. Behave like a 5-year-old kid in the candy store. No, don't do that. Show maturity, right? Be matured. Where you are going, get people, let them brief you. Because journalists will always be journalists. Journalists will go what they call the gotcha moment. Say, why you, or they are foul. Or you,
what you do,
exactly. So all the good things you have said, that little gotcha moment, become the headline. It's some now kind of his ideas, industrialization. Saying, and and Ghanaians were just laughing. Oh, yeah, he's a young boy, doesn't know what he's talking about. Apple, like seriously?
Okay, it's okay. The way you are describing us, the politics need to grow. I said we are joking.
If you. When you are here, when you watch what we are doing in Ghana, do you really take it serious? Like seriously, do you really take us serious? Who call Facebook? You see, where I could where the Nisha Obi. What is this? Right? I was watching something on Facebook, and they were showing somebody how to give a head. Right? And they said they were showing around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, the reason why you are showing around 10, 11 p.m., you don't want kids to watch it. That makes sense. This is a global digital age. Whatever that you show, people are going to make a YouTube, it's going to end up on YouTube. And the children that you don't want to watch, they are going to see it.
Yeah.
So what is the point? Why are you doing that in the first place?
I don't make an talking. Is it that somebody how to be so gullible? Say, I don't know why the politicians, one house politician and the omu joki omudi and one bro. Is it that yani amo omudi and one bro? Why do they do it? They don't do that. So why are we doing that in Ghana?
Like I said, we are people ourselves. We don't know what we want. Like we don't know. Say the democracy. It belongs to us.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't realize the power we have.
Yeah, we don't realize the power. See, look, our friends, Obi Kwakoto about Yamanu 200 Ghana cities. Wakoji 200, Wakoji we were having. Like, are you serious? Right? Like I said, we don't have to blame our people because the way that democracy was presented to us, right? It did not focus on grassroots from the ground. Say, you have the power to make decisions.
Yeah. But and it's sad. Let me read some of the messages because it's just pathetic. Say, I was thinking, say, Bianca Bakpo will be a turning point for Ghana. Say, Bianca Yeduno, we will change Ghana destiny. Say 2024. Out of the number of people who have decided some contest, Mahamanye, Baomienie, CPP, I don't know which candidate they are coming, but Alan Chemantini, Odikenie, that out of that, no, we will get somebody who is focused enough. But by between the Omo kind of Baumia and Mahama, out of all the things that they are saying, excluding the now candidate, the Mahama Naka said the no speak in fiscal space. But do you see any hope? Say it's possible, say, out of the experiences, so many Mahama so a very experienced former president. When you experience, so no, I think he's learned his lessons from Obayan, Niema, of course, when he's promising that he will do better now when he comes. But Omiasi, he's also learned his lesson being a vice president of Nanado. He's seen mistakes at Nanado, and he wants to correct it and make it better, including some of the suggestions or the about say, or better the number of ministers so be focusing on IT and agric and all that. Do you see any hope there? Do you see any hope? Say, me anyway, there's a hope view. And I'm over
no, for the two of them, it will come down to the lesser of two evils, right? For the two of them, right? It's a matter of the lesser of two evils. One person has been there and they say he has learned his lessons, right? You can say you have learned your lesson, but you don't know how far the economy has been messed up. You don't know that for a fact, right? When you get there, then you'll be like, oh no. But like I said, the media, I'm for a third force. So long as the third force, they will come together as one particular party to get one candidate, right? So that the candidate will be able to influence the political system. But where they are scattered all over the place like that, where 2020 election, what Shabusum had 0.8% or 0. Something percent, right? Let's take for example, Alan Chemanti has what? He's appealing to both NDC and MPP, right? Maybe the youth like him. Let's go to China. He's trying to appeal to the youth. Let's go to the other parties. So they are trying to identify a base. But why can't all of them consolidate themselves into one party, right? Like what we are doing with in the US with the RFK, to be able to influence the elections. So when they are able to influence it, then it means that there's going to be some sort of coalition. You are going to form some sort of coalitions, right? And when you have coalition, then it is very, very difficult for one particular party to dominate the political landscape.
Well,
apart from that, there's no way forward. There should be a third force which is able to challenge the political system. Not that they are going to win, but they will challenge the political system.
So the third force is very necessary.
Very. In Africa, it is very, very important. Let's take, for example, let's assume that we have 10 members of parliament who are from other parties, like 10. What do you think is going to happen?
Check this out. So at least when somebody is checking the passage of the law way, you best scrutinize the bill, no? You best scrutinize the way.
Yeah, so we should be able to experiment. And I make it all boils down to the way third force, they are all able to organize themselves into one particular to have one particular candidate, right? Not that the candidate is going to go and win the presidential election, and there is far-fetched. It's not going to happen now, right? But at least he's going to have a chunk of the electorate, right, to become a force to reckon with in our political system. Then it means we have to negotiate with them. But if you are not able to do that, then we don't have a choice. It's between Biden and Trump, demented, and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's it, right?
Okay. Problem confirm I'm reading a bit more comment to me. Deborah Nathaniel, I say Prof. Livim. You should spare us all this lamentation. Ghana has kept calling all these big guys from Abroche, and they all talk big about the solutions for Ghana, but they better come home and come and help us or spare us. Well, Deborah Nathaniel, what you don't know is that you never voted for Prof. And Prof doesn't collect your taxes. And Prof he's not under any obligation to come and do anything for you. His obligation is first to his family. What I say. So the people you vote, this is why I always have a problem. Nipa na woto abama no kotna parliament. Did your man abina or no kotna? Be mo no mo sign 10% more mo. Or more sign paper more or the free fuel or drive a banker or no maintenance no. How many times are you able to question the Pantombra ni chrome number factory or an umbra ni chrome number 4? How many of our members of parliament to put a word for in their constituencies? How many of them are investing in agri? Simple in toast. If MPs are organizing in toast for in their constituency, young can toast from Burkina. But you are here, be professor or not, baby, or no, they dollars in bag and a better economy. On our Bible question. You see where sometimes our priorities, even as voters, and this is why NDC MPP continue to take us for a ride. And they will continue to take us for a ride as long as our mind is not in the right place. You are attacking the professor on what idea will use the university. Nisika can a 5 billion foreign remittance is about Ghana $5 billion or something. And about money maybe Nisika can what attack on. The other 11, you know. The other who seek we are lost, Ghana youth. A serious country will not allow everyone to vote because you have so much ignorant people in the country. I agree. That's why America more electoral college, you know. In the end, one man, one vote. A electoral college vote, they determine who becomes the president. You can win popular vote, American president. And that's what a EJW is saying. Or see, yeah, a serious country, Biano. Yeah, one man, one vote, because in a genius coins, no more dorsal. And the or share rose, or share tax, or yes, analysis, not the Akotua, but no, we are calling 200. No more vote, no, I say, I don't. Zigma, see if you don't she a third force or reasonable and abuse a problem, Mebusano. Senor Kabutiano say NDC, any Mahama all the way. When you saw more, and bet me as Ghana future, and a Francis Cobb, see, because they all want to come and steal Ghana. That is why they all don't want to come together and form one simple third force. And come on, your third force. So all of them should be able to come together and form one third force. Now, come on, Ghana, no, so they GH Kwame said. Yeah, Mills, no party has built infrastructure more than MPP. Well, be also your more NDC MPP kind of politics. And I make an MBOI more NDC MPP. No, MPP infrastructure, the Ghana is and it's all Ghana money. So no party should really take credit for anything, really. Regina Bediakon say, Prof, great. What is his name? On the Prof, Akwe. Or Chad or Connecticut into
yeah, but if you Obika baby, right? The fact said you were overseas, no interest, we don't make any contribution or we don't have investment, right? There are people overseas who they know about Ghana crowd. You have no idea. Right? We have programs, we have investments. We talk to people in government. We say, oh, these are investment proposals, these are things, these are this and this and this and this. And if your politicians are not listening, what do you want us to do?
Exactly. And a proper politician in here. And your man advice no money, what can they do? Royal Mama Sita will I say, Prof, I like your analysis for sister here, so I miss you. Royal Mama Sita me chair Panicofodia flowers for Nathaniel appear. Nathaniel, I think I read your message. You say Prof is not obligated to anybody, but in fact, Prof like that's our business organ. I mean, person me do be asking better about him, but me say Nathaniel focus on MP. Busa MP do ministers no question. Omo will tax the Prof Unchianica on our business organ. He's still paying salaries in Ghana. We are
not very serious.
Focus on the issue. Obey your tax. Yaman 2 cars. And minister to Ghana, MPP will be a papa. Minister Bia Wabapa 32 years. Omunadi tax me free. VAT back. Salute the back. Full and good money free. Can't say I had the maintenance. Ghana government taxpayers' money. And a maintenance money free. Yamano bungalow to them. Yamano a May 7th. Yamano security menu. Yamano allowance, entertainment allowance, clothing allowance, and personal allowance, atopa allowance. You know the man. Question those people. Now you leave all those people and all the benefits, your own taxes is going to them for free. And then you are questioning will be Prof. On America, for a man of scholarship, no sooner they may pay you. I'm a watcher there American. And you are questioning him. I didn't baby. A first saying, a Cantamato. See, if you are seriously, the NDC was built upon the strength of CPP by J.J. Rowling. So now they don't have any vim and any competence to give them this competitive edge in the elections. And Mr. Martin joining forces against 2 major parties, no, wouldn't be a threat because the two parties have very strong structures that will not be easy to be broken for now. That's a very important point now. Abana so cannot see. And rolling to build NDC on CPP. CPP kojoto. There's no way a CPP yet the it will still remain collapsed. And you have a point, but that is why I can also see people go a step further in building itself. No, unfortunately, see people not so hard than agro. Or more the CPP need the agro. They are not showing any level of seriousness. Zigma say you would bloated a monument. Bloated a monument. Constitutional provision is a monument committee. Now a monument committee in determine gratia for ministers, MPs, judicial service, judges. No, judges are one court of appeal. Supreme Court judges no money as gratia. Electoral commission, commissioners need as gratia. NCC, as gratia. I think Shroud before as gratia today. As gratia. You are here. You are worried about to be. Also, Ghana youth in the Adrian baby here. Every 4 years, the any as gratia. Yet to a betina. More better social media. No more year and another near them. So why you know what it is gratia you on family? If you insult, you don't insult. They've collected the money. They are still enjoying the money. We must be able to change your strategy, you know. Nagana as son is shebre. Opoku Phillips was if you are catching a prof said he should put sense in our leaders for us. But I won't have put leaders. Yeah, prof. One now about one adakanon aba. Inti prof want to mean puti. One now be puti a dream in the leaders. Or why a champ boy or sister, if you don't worry yourself. A country where people collect crabba and salt to vote there. That country is not serious. You'll be worrying yourself for nothing because some of them don't appreciate Adena Oyeno. They don't even appreciate Edumana Moyeno. Any what goes into Eduman and Kenya, they will not collect crabba to vote. Mantaya X, I say if you are what you are saying. One party uses taxes to build infrastructure, the other party uses it nothing. And you see nothing wrong with it because the taxes belong to the people. Well, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I said that many see can idea development. Inti party should not take credit for themselves. Well, when a prof can I'm say development level no more. Maybe I mean some no more petition so I don't processing of thoughts is a problem. Because I think yeah, because I know it's any right. Francis Covenant, I think we should hand over Ghana to the whites again. No, we will not hand over Ghana to anybody. Moja if you go yansana Ghana and yeah, Beji Ghana nanka must even suggestion no. Bedi Akon Regina, it is not only the politicians. Ghanaians were born bad. They are corrupt. Honesty is completely finished. I think you have a point. We are born bad. It's a civil servant or Jessica. Who can file a document or court to cry, bail if you sika. We are more corrupt than the politician. I say, Ghana News Agency report. Unit committee chairman or assemblyman, I'm moving ready road. So, wedi unit committee chairman, lady. And the report about Ghana Herald. ECG, or more analysis of our counter. Sika, I hear 31 billion. They cannot find it. Any by any politician, civil servant, Omadi. Sagle media make a chief director no for change contract no. Contract ni ama contractor so on see 200 rows on houses on see it. Or see even a quarter of the houses. Not contractor sign the Sikabia Masa Kwako. Abaya sign the Sikabia Mako can when they sign contract I chief director. Chief director and Weuko, he was a civil servant. Never had been issues. So the Ghanaians are not interested in Myanmar affecting the welfare. Until Obi a person or Davis a cotton brooch. Ghana na say we must change our mindset. Adia want to be near our brooch over Ghana, you shouldn't do it. But abroad, yeah. If we are near better and done in the NDC MPP so that we can get away with murder. Patrick Ayim said, Baumia didn't say he will give Ghana cards to babies. He said new babies will get social security number until 18 years before Ghana card will be given to the child. Sano Kaye. And also on the card be mom. Well, I'll go back and check again. And anyway, say yes, I'll and the knowledge I can easily check it again if that's exactly what he said. Kwame Nkrumah say if you are the youth are the problem. We are not bold to say the bitter truth to our politicians, but rather we'll join them and do more damage. na any yetimuno. If we join them and do more damage, now who cause some? You better. Kwa money na you better so. Kaswa road near the near nine so na kwa near bonny. Richard, what to say, Vim? You have been missed. Eti medasi bebre. Isaka Gani will not say Vim. God bless you near Juma Moye. And Regina Bedia, I think I read your message. No, Cecilia. Thank you so much for your message. Now me photo I'm waiting me abas now mama bed. Oh, okay, Mr. Yabo abas, Mr. Yabo, but just sit up, mama. Now me connect to Cecilia na issues now. Any views or comments that you have about topic now? Cannot. Mr. Yabo. I know Mr. Yabo, but I was you and him, but just say my.
Sister Fiampa, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Me okay.
I'm into.
Na me okay, woman.
Yeah, but do more event your radio, no just say the account, no, into Casamay.
Ubajo Timinka. Okay. Okay, met Eddie can met that prophecy. Now, but a normal woman in your for example, can be said the democracy, you know, what's it democracy? Democracy is a practice of Ghana. And there's a problem with it. And it is a borrowed culture. And because of the fact that a borrowed culture, you know, it is rippled with for example, Malaysia, democracy.
I see democracy in your almost share your con, son
yeah, and to them share a con. Almost share a con, you know. And I'm in the pepe. I'm in the trodo because and no problem, no. And I'm saying they share a con, you know. Yeah.
Mr. Ebo, I'm saying our network high end. I'm for another person. Brother Francis, good evening. Brother Francis, good evening. Oh, Brother Francis network no so enye. I name am good evening.
Good evening, yes, Sophia. For Boko, yes, you see, I'm a Naija. So, mommy jumping in. My member prof Abaso, and in some of our camo, I can't say people, yet an ascension and interest or they might. Now, this Sophia, on my Tima, I said, be politicians, or we be paying MP, you know, pick a form, cranny, the brass band, getting the chidi, on my papa. Obi on all that some yellow, or pick a form, Katakra. Na yedi momo edi nachi o ma papa pai is a via send a provocanon o ma le hia third force na the enti o muntu mi nka mo nyina is selfish interest obi apane de because enti sa nkadi ba de pa odike o won obi enum so wini njale na mum kam humbo na mum put pressure on both parties na kam and this in MPP but because of say omo obia se bi obia kakra obenyanti many evidence will be a this call, but Sana Memagin because then this are the internet want to income home. Say you be interest now, the internet want to income home. The bad the parenting that if you want to income home. In the normality, the economy, I think I'm maybe if you what casa Adum from that, what casa, what casa, any Ghana for you, any you for you, if you never recommend, you do what you say. The same Ghana for you, local 40 cities. 400 Ghana near Kotwaba. Even the co-prime school MPs, you could presidential candidate. The BA did no Akako Diska, no Akoto. In the same mini of Akoka and say, Omana de nan kedi eni kwase nkema obi atoba. Keni kwase eni ni pobia na wase manu toba o. Ke wase nke ni US ni bi electoral college near the edge because ube kasa ube base wo issue so na opasa de toba na sabi obi akodiska no akoto no ase bibia ye wia ya ba be ye de da ni refi se sika na MP sika be no o man na sika na no mo chama yo ti so kwaje ofo na no dia na so onye wo kwa ma wa memesu because one kai say sika na de man ubusa be bi efri wa musa no de ma na waje na waje ewie no wo sa be pedi ba de bi ye politician omo ready o omo wo say ya dream de ye pen na omo de ma ye because system no omo no ma study ye say oh nkofu o mbe de da o metwa so Ghana acha asem ye no be di 40 days eni njuno ohu de ye ne pe de ma ye ehu de ma ye Ghana no de say ye youth no ansa ki adwen na ye mputu ye leaders no on their toes mendi ni say bi papa bi ya be fi maba because kasa no ye be kasa be ye de da zafia enkosi hwe wo de abeto be politician bɛɛ paa na ne ba bɛdi akyire sɛ ɔkɔyi dede ma sɛ bi akɔpra ne nyinaa yɛne ahiafoɔ mmɛyɛ yɛne ahiafoɔ yɛ a na ɛbɛkɔ akɔdi akyire ne akɔhwere yɛ nkwa wobɛhu ne ba te aburokyire ɔkɔ sukuu ha ɔmo a na bɛsa bɛdi yɛ so na na de na ne papa na ɔnyɛ wamɛyɛ president ceremonial president wokɔ a ɛdubu ahɛn ne ba ɔmɛyɛ finance minister mahama ne papa ne wɔni abɛm mpanyinfoɔ na Baumi a ɔbɛ yi sisi yɛ ne papa no yɛ dɛ ɔno nso no yɛ Ghana panyin saa nti ɔmo a ɛbɛkɔ cycle saa sɛ yanka yɛn ho ammom as youth a nsafia ebi de daa 2028 asoma a woke yɛbɛsa abɛka the same thing.
Adwene a yɛde te Ghana no deɛ adane Brasses, so good evening.
Even if you're not saying.
Dano ba na we no ate kosa na de ase ye.
Yeah, I
think
I think one thing that I've noticed with Ghanaian governance, and I think comparative analysis, I know say military government better than that democracy we seem say we enjoy because compare we are democratic era no is career pa kesi akoso pa is our checks no it's a prof name be address so there I don't know because military era na not the level of corruption and kesi to say democratic dispensation that time I don't think it's enough fraud kesi because he said no ko Ghana obi afu we mistake and obi for the we mistake so for the we mistake herbalist for the just say square for the but back in military rule, no, I remember Roland Stanley, your SS, hardly say teacher could have a book, the amount. I brought GS in issue, but an echo free SHS open prospectus, different thing. And to me, for me, my things that the democracy didn't help us. If we'll be honest with ourselves, we say Ghana, no, we say no matter what, Obi no be a delay, no show because there's corruption. The democracy in there, if we can say it, but it didn't help, but it just helped a few people, which is the leaders.
But they say we are stuck with it. At least so far, no be any so best countries, you know. And it's any other cool basis say we don't know. At least we don't know. What is the solution? How do we get Ghana back?
I think we don't have any solution for now because look, from there we start to journalism. They say what has changed. You honestly. Kumasi Accra Road are now come once me sir and you Kumasi and your back. They were quantity and a kufu and Yamia do ye quantify chi. Mrs. Still do be a pot to be or a down for decades is still there.
As a Konongo side, those that then pot will be.
There are so many look, Oko Confanochi emergencies is here. You go and see the reality of governance. Like things have messed up. Ukona ni sky show. Now we are the patient to ambulance it. Me beside say we scan as when this guy. It happened to me. My auntie, she was sick. They asked me, say, do we have money before we put her in an ambulance? That's what is happening. That is the reality. And then Bernard Mona account TV3 say ka ubini ka ba mu penifo ni bi amonya na ambulance en fa ni pako ni en fa no ko 37 ye do 37 na ka se doom light e de na free 37 on e de no courage obi kwa ko do ye doom light.
I see the truth of the matter now. Bernard Mona na kase him said, "Say abai ni pa no do wa ne ya ye so kania no."
Oh,
you said there so when so.
If you see what happened to John Kuma.
Yeah.
He went to Kumasi, he went to Ejoso. They were trying to bring him to Accra. Omoko airport and they couldn't airlift him. Do you train saying your hospital papa or Ejoso? His life could have been saved. Because at least if it's the first aid be a bit also so no as and that could be a teaching hospital or something. But
now they John Kuma wasem na aka. Before John Kuma we and one na wu. New Amadon ko wu abroche. It means I even go we South Africa. Barredu or South I a continuous years and years and years of failure in the system.
If let's be honest with you, it has of Ghana that's the reality. Ghana, it will take us 100 years. That is the reality because there are petty things. You can't want media so get over who face reality now. Me some will be being yari and me
maybe papa would
yes. So yeah, was a reality no by yana ye person beka and the media for no more can as it should be. And Odua, and I might say youth no or
me and Obian by see, yeah, oh, uncle for only anoma, or Ghana, na, oh, come or more. Almost a problem. They don't allow the media people to talk about issues.
Do you know the reason why the youth no Omutu choir they start insulting the leaders? Because when they travel, they see that there are some things that it's just basic. If you want license, you just sit in your room, apply on the net, pay the necessary amount, and they will deliver the license into your mailbox in the house. In your normal experiences are easy way now. That's why the youth they keep on insulting the leaders. They just insult them because once they I be a no Ghana, I be taking me be a bare 6 months and son of Satan me ba. Within be a bare few days, he applies and he gets it. And they see there are so many basic things I say Obano here you can be so to be able to afford it. Then it turned out to be insult.
And I'm earlier no. Me introduction means now I was talking about credit system. Youth no so can penny. But to abandon the right person, he says, Ghana to see at home, but to this is what she delegate. They won't vote for you. If you I'm going to be this kind of
me always I say we can't blame the citizens. We always have to blame the leaders because look, if the leaders are putting up systems that check the citizens the citizens will be disciplined. US, UK, to say Ghana for now, but the system is checking them. You understand? But leaders and they want to play on the intelligence of citizens. And it always they just give them the leeway and use it as an advantage to exploit them. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I proper can earlier no. Mammy not proper can say a lack of knowledge na unemployment na abrocho wo bibia politician bia to me be dada we need say youth ni bibi enti brasa so mammy na wase na me fa brako good evening.
Good evening sister Fia.
Yes you.
Patrol me chano panelist ne wetiefo nyina.
Sister Fia
em say asema aye ka no ho de bia ho anye da so gina. Yenko ba bia yenya ye ka asem fofora na yepese ye shift goal post no na goalkeeper no hu say ye na firi oni abobo na fa ho ye say go. That is what is going on in Ghana. Sister Fia, leadership crisis is our major problem. Rwanda, some are practicing democracy in Rwanda.
Somewhat, and when you have complete democracy, it's slightly different.
Which means, Sister Fia, send a prof Kayano. I didn't see the real concrana, Taylor, Yapan, Okota, no store bar, no way. What boho, no watching chim, no watch so. Now, why am I not fit to come? Democracy, and ya de bonnet. They are brain, yen show your system. Yen show near me here, boy. Leadership, look at the pal. Sister Fia, and then I know more ministers appointed vetting, a whole minister from Kwame Agboshi or something from the Volta region. No Obusa minister and say minister na ya nominating Obusa and say on chire loan na omode ye Pokuase interchange, you know. Aban ben ase na your call secure loan on can correct. Meti wodi na me say look at this people when you to Abama ni so onko ka ekwan ho asem ni school ho asem ni hospital or pray say ye beka say na buy na di loan we buy
na we
na no ye de buy me ameti he mi din mu remittance am de be ba Ghana na buy be yin kakra no de akwa kotia loan ni ka etu wono busa minister ni say minister sidi no kwa na ekosoro na adentra busa minister ni say the nominal value of our city, in the market, our Kotobabi, Jamestown, those markets, it has fallen about 90% in the last 7 years. Mumian Busom, this question say, then as I never will cost for Ghana.
Exactly.
Also, parliament, a whole parliament, I wasted so much money. Oh, Busa said loan, why are buying at the buy? Sister, that is why we, the third force here, can say these people they must all resign. Yeba parliament ni yebeti number so. Yebeti so ministers yebeti so. We need only 10 people to manage Ghana. I can prove it. We have the formula. We need 10 ministers.
I'm not surprised. The Nkrumah now what 12 ministers.
Yes, they say me sure Nkrumah the am say no ye be yim yenu afrim near the 10. We need only 10 ministers. Near more the next 4 years to put Ghana in order. Because the shadow of the past. And the shadow of Papa Mudia. Oko voter regional, a block one, you are block of you honum. And we have a dinner there. Oko Bafwa Koto from Ashanti region, Minister of Agri. It's a cruise na. Sister,
game of chess.
Yes, and one year third fourth for there Sremo. Obi antwe ne ho ye buy say British constitution no. Wa we minister na ya appoint no chano papa we nsemu na ye be pam ye be ka say master go away we don't need you. Ye me yes say na omo di bone omo say Ghana sika they are wasting our money. And obi anka hwe nkire won. Omo still yensan to abama won. Obi anto abama sa akuru we say ye pese omu nyina omu free honum no omu nko ye mpe soja aban ye ya be ya ade ye da mase
mama na ase black okuzo no views ade boss omu nko third force na na omu epe omu ebra na mama fa Nathan na me call world boss. So Nathan, good evening.
Evening, sister Fia.
As say
Nyame adumo.
Great. Who can say free?
Me ka say free Portugal.
Okay, you
Me so me dey say and current doom so ya by. Enti yenya MPP NDC for 8 good years. Enti yempenifo na ntima nye policy bi anto say all the 5 northern say northern regions or 5 northern regions.
I 5.
Yeah. A whole pana ye see we abo. Enti wonum nyina yentimi nye honum solar. Na ye coastal areas no and abrofo at the windmills are itimi generating electricity nanka ye hydro no ye eliminating no ama ebia Kumasi ne greater part of Accra sa anka betima solve all these dooms but it seems dooms no mama time nanado time they bia dooms na manfo nyoma egu na amafo nyum MFDSS nti yenya policy anase yempenifo yintimi make all these policies ema ye ho ntimi han na
no Monday you discussing study way almost wo energy commission report am kind of solar energy ni bi but enoso nti just a small amount there but they aka ni nyina no thermal energy and gas plants near there ye trigger from Nigeria because of West Africa pipeline. It's our omo be but any mass said they will come abroad you no more the use abroad no more mass solar farms near the sikani nyina na kwa kodi thermal and gas ne side sikani ni solar That's one of the issues.
Yes, our problem ne because okay, success government be a baby, you be experience doom so. So there should be policies be at least na northern side, northern region, solar coastal areas, central region, Cape Coast, western region, near the windmills. So I bet mama. Yenya more enough power. Also, my second one, dam, yes, say Burkina Faso Bagri Dam. Ye bien, so mu be dam, na chiafa, omunfu dear, so na the problems are Bama for ya. Ain't it, naka, and also me problem, Yampeni for Uncle Bronia. Obetima drainage system obetima store nsuo ya eba ebese nyina sa eduru opebre mu a yebetimi dia irrigation dia yemfudie so ama agri sector no atima boost odwen wa wonti ase asemo
I true the okay me pa maka won sem wa ase yen harvesting nsuo no but obani oka na kwa kosi baby. And I don't tell you, country on the bus as engineers and educators. Oh, Kata politicians now. Power and resources need to put we engineer, I bet me at team to that kingdom can't say and harvest is But a politician no put up power and resources on here. What can you do? You see, and see, yeah, to Obama politician. We won't know any statistics there. Young tackle at from the top. They hold the power and they hold the resources. And they are coming to solar farm. Now, what can you do? Vote the person out. Magana program no. Omu di eche ezu eza eshi na no masa koto. Because na okra unsa no asa kosi form. So
some because in some pa sister afia. Sky yetua as gracia dia kan yenya ban bia so betwam. This year nyame aduma next year January ye betua ma 275 MPs. As Gracia about CEOs, state nyina skawe nyina nti yentimi fa and channel BB M1 minor say yeah the nema na
and we are born bad. Later mama na watipa
mate
to about communities they are doing masat we don't care. Yeah the anite bezu all these issues. Hardly would you hear voters asking politicians this question. They won't ask. What was good evening?
Evening, if yeah.
Adume.
Yes.
Now they're working from home. Two new problem.
Yeah, if you have me 2 points per sharp. Politicians, me abedu baby no acquire say Ghana for no say politician be who are. Yenya that feeling of sorrow be a more mubiomo. Sana didn't because they've refused to fix the health care industry. In this almost they are just dying like ordinary Ghanaian who they be on the streets of Ghana now. I don't see why Ghana for say omunya feeling more musomu. I just don't see it. Mimi here. Because almost started so fix a healthcare now. Now they this or don't back biom. But you see idea. So don't if you Ghana for you be more. We don't have the pity for them any longer. And there's no share health tourism number or Ghana. People from other neighboring countries, Ghana for healthcare. So man, yes, nobody should even say sorry, cry to them because they deserve it. My last point is the reason why Ghana for other smaller political parties no member together. Yeah, Ghana for Nangasa, sole proprietorship.
Yes.
Ghanaian companies, sole proprietary is almost about 95%. The few ones that Benyani say, Ubenya partnership, ni other ones. Idea you be kind one boom aye together.
Adwemmɔne ne ntia.
Adwemmɔne no nti no ye nka mbom enya ade. De bia no ye pese ka say oh me na me hye ase me na maye bedu say and so there's no way you betima merge that and some political parties no more Ghana no and mu ya brofo and ba na ko ma merge da abrofo no it's easy for them to merge say bibi almost split
What was me no Germany uko Germany the way they are me ko Germany parliament Bundestag. They have these smaller parties. Even they have one green party near the merge na mo say ubako parliament we no we mo win or chana no my alliance no we ma ba chana we dey Israel for it ubo no my alliance so my alliance no we mo win no yeah
because so we share Ghana so yeah to me international companies Ghana companies be a abroad and even neighboring Togo cry no Ghanaian companies because you feel comfortable in our zone. But Nigeria for me to me feel chrome banks any other a big South Africa chrome big companies in Ghana. Ghanaian company is so big in even Togo. Because you have partnership no and we're expanding more. But if you don't do partnership, you cannot expand. Business a company is collapse. Nobody it's investment.
Like you're saying, we don't like partnership.
Yes, and smaller parties no so a bebre na intermediaries. You plenty of much no distracted. So some of them that they are not genuine political parties. Instead, there's to me merge. They can't merge because pay masters be more baby. And the who you are just talk merge per fund they know. So that is the system I have built all these was. And you know. Oh yeah, I bet check a cry. I bet check. You said
you have a problem. I'm not the word boss. You have a big problem. Hey, everybody says I got an idea. Women forgetting them saying, Brother Francis, good evening.
Good evening, Levia.
I'm in Brother Francis.
But I'm here at here for any other
also.
And I am first time I appear on the
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Good one.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's
Levia. I'm say, trust some cancer. I'll say, Obina can also God for us or each one for himself. And then I got a practicing. Obia to some year can you know can small parties no obia mpese oni ninu ya be join because problem omo want say omo who is to lead because some eba together CPP be pese ni nipa ebe lead afafranto be pese ni nipa ebe lead and this is the challenger omo ewo entina they don't want to come together. But skanka omu ka omu ho aboma and a very brilliant idea. Na afe MPP ni NDC no kra no. So omu kokotena ase kakra. Third force ne ba no omu kokotena ase kakra. Na so omu nyo opportunity a ebe biemu a they will do things right. They will put things in the right place because say no they have a between them no there's someone who can always challenge them into being serious on what they are doing. But because there is nobody, no intermediator, they think they are the superior parties. No challenger. Way back, obey your pet, way so back, obey, and 67 years. This is if you may test a EB. Not me say to me, left to me alone. Anka, yani abrofubi to say Jema abrofo. Yanfa Ghana no enye say ye no mo contract e be 50 years ye the Ghana any resources in Ashamunsa we want in the next 50 years no Mumbai the Ghana say Germany akwala bia owo Ghana peni bia hospital free obia ya wona ye maniska that system in Europe no ye no omo tra table ho emfa nto omo anim Because resources here at the end of the day, sister, don't get me wrong. Resources here, yenyan fiti na nama brishi. Ema yemfasu dia papa bia wa Ghana. Enti to me, my idea no say, yeah, the more money and more maybe a contract of 50 years to say.
Ghana ne ma Germany for contract no more manage my
yes, omo manage my with our resources because for the next
Nkrumah will be rolling in his grave with that.
Oh, sister Fia, a black man capable of managing his own affairs. After Nkrumah Nyodija in 67 years, yentumi enye shi yento Nkrumah kra de few years by yendu baby. Enti this shows say Ghana say baby the next 100 years rana. I'm sure yentumi mfanya shi. Enti na meme ka say ye ma contract dia 50 years ma ba ye modwuma mu wi a momfa ye mamaye na monko a contract ya sign must sign so nanka aye fine but me bra bi make comment bi na me de masa mo ba wi no this afia say no solar system no say Ghana ya dream hu ye pa very very important.
Oh yeah bi wo Ghana na che say no so me ka kire no yeah bi wo Ghana
but sister solar can I think say enu mom going that way no be boy and say ye depend on Akosombo Dam every year, every single year, because say no Ghana ayekese and to say tamwa Nkrumah tama na population no so say population no grow and grow no as the population grows no so no na your use of electricity, your use of water and everything so and also kwanenim.
Okay.
We should plan. Say, you will solar there. We will not waste the sun now. Bogunu. Yamfanya bibi na MY. Even Coco Hunu.
Another person.
Coco Hunu Christ. If you don't see about in their generating electricity.
Yeah, I know that one. I know that one, but also.
But we are just wasting.
Because the capital at 17, normally they will choose an option that is cheaper to generate, but more electricity, and the solar no a good option. Like I'm saying, almost 30 years, but just the solar need generation. I think last time I checked it 7 megawatts per. I feel no more try. I feel no more trying to be neighbor. But I'm not saying Brian or Land. Brian, good evening.
Good evening, Chef. I'm here.
I don't know.
Uncle pardon me. The idea can hand you go everybody should know to now. I'm saying free leadership said the be can and MY and a Ghana for your answer so no your delegate system is how the man on MY if you say or say would you anymore yempe near Kojiska I'm an inaba because your friend said yempe for ACTN. I'm say oh my team ye could you be a your head ye would you anymore you been a bossy idea then you mind. We call young Casano, policy and paying for no be a canning no. Dear, a Bosnia, city, Beach, the non qua, and on the catching. Policies are can Japan more 2 from 1 cabit more mana piano. Yem Ghana for na delegate to Kojis Casa Yempe. Until Ama gets a Ghana no a bay and is here, yapping papa or man who don't move. Na yenso Ghana for answer ya dwene ama man who don't know you mu dia said ye koya no na be sa kɔ sa na sa nwa sa bisi echi na nwa bisi echi sa ya enti wo say ye Ghana for no ye ntimi se ya adwene kakra emfiri parties ne ho ye nyi party ne nto nkyɛn na ye ma Ghana don nwura ye mu yie na ye nkem pepe ni pa so Ghana don so ni mu no betimi e dia akɔ onye sa dia Bia no de bekuya na ebekọ because omo nyina police me de ba na akọ say ye emfam puntu oma akoye yenkwaje bosia yenko eno nko a nim se no nko a no mutimi eye nwodwumo se senyo medwino ho de ya na entiase ma enti wo se yesi adwene pe ni papa police yemfa police nya adwuma obi yentiri nipa na beka ni nya sai sikaje you say o me go je 4,000 wan asan o me de awie
Yes, and yes, where do you account for it? Where do you?
Oh, until I say it to me, say agony. Na saa no man, it me di papa obet mo man akọ nanim. Because the end of a year can open can see emphasis jam voice. Ye when ni pa what you meet me Ghana shen some man Ghana gina aye. Ni nyina firi ya.
Yo.
Oh, it was it be agony ye. Nye di papa bi so but MPP ni ndi sina kasa de. Me MPP ni but nka nyame adom nka ye ko position nka ye.
More MPP for no.
Yenko. Yes, was here because Omedi Hamo. Give me a
position. No, Musianya.
or see a Queen answer. Because the case a first say, O man Penny Kufo, I ain't man may check my square kakra and come to now and get a sofa potrasi. Because Kakra I want to go forward. Because the man Penny could be a up to now. Intimate ye man in the mutu to a penny papa dia. Nice, man Penny Kufo. If them say I'm coming through what I'm paying for na babo boy, man, yes, I party and catch and get a sofa. Oh, see, I'm paying for no. Yes, I've been in your movie or name tell party, a for no now say, Omutimik a come who boom. Tell for so, Ninka to me, Jenna. But almost so as a person, I'm social doors for her. Oh, it's intimate. Yes, I've been here. Need to be on papa with your dear man. No man, I couldn't. Yeah, I can say, you bet me. Nye if you
was your no MPP ni but the party in co-position no Musianya sa. Bravo, good evening. Bravo, Machatina Mammy and I'm connected.
Good evening, Stefia.
Yeah, 2 time. I just you.
We there be the massive de Tiawakra, person my Casabi. Stefia, democracy Ghana, oh, have me only problem with Ghana. Leaders know any the way I have programming your way. Say Nipan about you turn what you saw about me, no, that's all no call. He said if you have made a meaning what Russia is practicing. But you see Putin now saying we're winning election or calling
we need you.
So you see about there was it.
Tell one day example, you want that leader not to over 20 years, he's still there.
If you understand. Nipan there was some man at time, not no person here no, but now man 8 years. Or they say 2 years, Baby appointing for the better election year or somebody second term. Until you papa you understand? Why don't you give the person who they said 20 years crowd? Yeah, shadow bay. You understand? Show Russia the example. And you have China, so is there. You understand? Give the people the chance to do something. That's how you're 8 years, need more money there. 18 years goes you. You try friend is saying. Nana do say, yes, or housing will be or I must my hobby. So okay. They are about to leave government. They are project, ambitious project on person almost started. So now, 7 months, 8 months, I can maybe it's a housing.
Again, likely,
you understand? They be another country in Nigeria. Can you imagine? Yeah, bro. It's a fear. Charlie. You enter an office, it doesn't matter if you are white or black. Whatever they have to do for you, they just do it for you. You leave. You don't need to give anybody anything. So normally say they treat you like you are part of them. You don't. It's so sad. I mean, Madam Fugo UK, maybe I'm a catcher and say Charlie, the Ghana na it can't be because the change we the Ghanaians want in Ghana, no. So if it happens in Ghana, you will not like it. Maybe I'm a catcher. Oh, Ghana, open passport actually, will be Kakra 3 days, you passport area. You understand? Now, if you see, say, online, oh, you be area, you for no be open, sir. Because you were channel, the bed never bad. Aha, pesa, because you know, so could have 500 go, baby, yeah, be a mountain. But I brought America, me go America, or apply the passport, we are just application, papa, or you will post here. I think it's 4 weeks or 7 weeks. The new passport came. You understand? You don't even see anybody. Oh, but I mean, Ghana no is sad. Is the fear. Me the point I mentioned is say, say 4 years, 2 terms. You know, it's not helping the country. And why? You can man for time to develop the country.
That's it. Now I mean, now I see baby. I say we na President Kufuor can you be kono. Or can say 4 years, 4 years. We should change the system. We change the business any every. Good evening.
Oh, Mami Efia. Good evening. Empom ye dear.
Adumo opening now so.
And then Yami ask me holding pa. Me problem pa aye. If you Ghana. Say your share be a ye curb to say be a bola car. Into a bola car na car no as a set a ye bola car and cassa in general. Just say ye treat car lorry no money yet to say a ye fi car into a set car and cassa in general in ano. A ye fi. But all when American. Oh boy. Hello.
What
But in American. I'm saying,
you know, machine. I think I want don't go a mistake now, Daniel. Brad Francis, Mama, good evening.
Good evening, Obahima. So, how are you? Meka kakra afa developing na Ghana yentimin developer. Ghana nyese bia enima de o. Ena nyese bia sabe ya Jimmy Sao. Na kakra beka ewo Ghana de se yentna se plan bibia. Ghana te wasado. Say Kwame Nkrumah Nkwano unya the plan kakra for 7 years development plan, but apart from Kwame Nkrumah obi no our our plan. Mame nkyerɛ ade baako menya akwanya ne MP baako anante wɔ kurom ha for so many years, and the way I see canning so much is that me mesua ne me free the hollow for years Ghana we are going nowhere. Oh, Ekwanya amuka say from Accra to Kumasi no. Me akasa me ye ka chire me chiba me no ekunu wo kwa sa kwan no so. Now the sad part of it ne kwan say me akasa na me siesie car na ekunu no me ana me siesie sa shipu kra de man no na ekunu. Mama sure there amana to us ano sabi yen solve problems. Ghana Nibia or Tigana or your minister or your they don't think how to solve problems. Yeah, how I don't know. So Mamin show they are collab I can know about me shop more 1997. Now I did 3 years old. I collect 3 years old no. Put me kind newspaper or ABBR. And to him, the state took that child to a special school. And Colassa no woman let me creating yema. They invent things. So the akola no be training akola no sa because parent no crying to me in Costrano just some more permission. School no work on akola na we did 3 years no. So this is the problem Ghana don't solve. Because Ghana need be MPP NDC they don't have a plan. So be a plan ni a person they Ghana ko say think 8 years is more than enough to be able to create proper things free Sokrana, the whole country will say, hey, untimi mama sisano. So, but this is not Ghana. Yeah, Mamentra there, you were University of Kwame Nkrumah. Maybe free Kumasi, Oko Kumasi, the entire Kumasi road is not proper tile. I didn't hear. Who University of Honum? I didn't want to equipment and my students and no fanya then. Any roads, they just Kumasi roads in India. Omunye etutua normally. There's always going to be a supervisor supervising them. Young solve problems. Ghana need be solve problem. Into yeah Hawaii. So now I so sad say me my driver for Accra Road no so once, which is 2014. Miti Rafon, me, yes, 70 miles per hour. Now, Sabi, car phone be wabi sami home. No sign. 3 of the cars. After they know share big car. Now I was crying for the people who are almost take car no. And this is Ghana to you because the road, is a single road. Oh, say a dual carriage. Open to me a buafa baby, no, so far there. So, but eventually, the car went straight to the bush. I was following this guy. I mean, so so me problem in Ghana don't solve problem. So yeah, you'll be a solve problem. And Ghana and Tigo say 8 years is more than enough for any president. Because the way I see it, so you will be say on Tana for 15 years or something. Or say man, I'll say no, sir. So
I mean, I say, CATS no is enough. And your money we don't solve problems. Brav, John, but good evening.
Good evening, Sister Fiasne.
Yeah, don't catch you. Where?
You know me, will do one meet you. I send you a message. You know, because say you allow Obia, say Obia vote here.
Yeah, I saw that message.
And then my wrong choices. We do faces here, and I'm connect here. Me lucky say 1 point, and I'm saying. Because sometimes me buy online, but me who say we connected. To say yeah, Wednesday ni Mondays. Yeah, I say me sure so me buy me who
oh, I am your Tembia or Christmas penny break here. Tembia.
Okay. Yeah, that me say. Yeah, my sister, Dio say. Me tell you can.
Oh, yet you. Who now floor?
Yeah, my sister, me person me can say. She said, "Assembly me can, say we don't have to allow everybody to vote." What you say? Because crow, upese build crow, to me can say perform multi-marketing yama. Said me can say omo dream any papa and I say and for there is many people in the country. You don't allow everybody to decide for the country. A country like Ghana, I feel like yeah, build a crew. What I say. And I did back also share some George. See if you all can same way say LGBT and same way. Share interest or more de power. Now, one day the meteor so say, didn't you know fighting corruption with this kind of kitama LGBT for. See if you are a brutality crowd, bro, for baby, or 1 point, or 1 begging for more money. A brutality, yeti crowd. Me Germany be a neighbor on person of the tea crowd or one same crowd. What you say? And I'm sure if you are your road so road no the same contractors on we are not say now government it your accountability be any and what me do Ghana say what you nipa community as you see road upon say I say you nipa nye obi am bisa say why na road no like everybody doesn't care.
I mean, now, Rajon, we are not. I'm not about to be asking questions. I say, what are we even interested? Are we even asking the right questions? Yeah, voters, no, then fire road as some for, but we don't care. No, because you're continue to can idea we are
1 second, Patrol. Sisifia. Say, and fire now this started. With the catch up Father Dixon say on jail free, neko. You give no free, neko free. Because she yansa. Sisifia, me mbase obe to protect Casa Obeka. Wagana. She say, it's so can. It's not brother Captain Smart or Casa say the open. Because
why I understand your pain.
It's painful. It's painful.
It is painful. It's painful. You know that Ghana can be better, but it's one place.
Oh, only a bro for They see a almost baby, because they almost treat a good one. Yeah, all right, be our own man.
A time naso, I mean, na and private was in Yankopon next week. Mr. Nagis, good evening. And
Good evening, my dear.
Hey, I'm said there be a Michael, and there wasn't a Bansana or but Michael, good evening.
Oh,
Now we'll answer.
Good evening, yeah. Number 2 Pomboko.
Adam also.
Yankopon Ademo. Stefia me born quick. Stefia me pato cancer yari on. Doctor on sao cancer yari na. Obede didi. Your politicians, that's how they are treating us. Doctor no on sao cancer yari o no obede didi. Hospital no obede that running. So what I say, it is like you be more dra de bia obeko so ayede aba. Your politicians no mo my dra de bia obeko so ayede. Ejimi omo sebi. Na ya adwen no ayemre ama omo sebi. So the bear on because we're to every eye. For young Ghanaians, to get to the level you be yes and expecting yes education cost more because most of Ghanaians say Ghana. Sometimes you can't blame them. Make us ask him we say man me drew no man can you thinking if you on man. You move on my kasa with experience because thinking I do any more be exposure to certain things. Into your thinking and you might be on man. You can see clearly say sebi nipa no din sem hunu. Enti most of Ghanaians they don't see things that way. Or need that exposure now about things. Yeah brother Sema or can say yeah brother because I know because politicians me so nim addressing they can even build America. Ghanaian they can build America. But the whole thing then they say oh yeah dear now only any option be to steal, only any option be to be corrupt. And yes, so just space I'll bet me the area. And moreover, and conform any more dealing. That's the painful aspect. Yeah, business partners are President Akufo-Addo body and one. They are the people or more messy up. They are much more of the people. Your business, baby, they are part of your problems are you facing in Ghana. America, German, Italy, you feel comfortable. You almost structure so that we can come and build their system, we can build the economy, and then now they're not messy up. And globally, you pay youth, I see in Africa. Quambas no befa so mo sa wo nti okọ ya nkokrafo ne merafo na hwan ne behwe o enye ye nua ma no ne nasefo anom beba be se o ma behwe so structure plan our ma plan and o manya nkofo asebi o mo so ya kromfo they don't care about anything, they care about themselves and o mo no mo team up and o mo the manipulate ye no mu ya no ma sa be yes as o mo doye but ye manipulation o mo ye enye yi. Me back last one to Yabra said an answer more kind. To me feel say and kaya sema logically say ye pe nipa wadwin and kanyansa wom. I bet me aye adwuma because niema or kind and niema ehu bia. Skefia ages ana Kumasi ye building me I'm from Kumasi ages me building your friend saying the only natural artificial lake on Lake Bosom chain. Where time I hear Lake Bosom chain. I didn't ebe ni peti mo de ye.
The
question is yes,
we knew what happened. I watch you.
Question is yes, I'll address that. Question is yes, you will so be a link to a ponana. That is the first question, because before so you need to do some you can say research on it.
But is that what we need though? Say come your third of fighting, here.
Stefia, unim. Anything that make say if right now Ghana situation, I will agree with you. Any idea priority to Ghana. A priority first, which I agree. But any idea yes bro so say Ghana should be to me because for economic reason. For a future economic reason. A idea yes say or can say now your box side you to check. Your gold you to check, your diamond you to check. You see, say if a same way, say if Gaddafi Etias in Oka, nobody would question Gaddafi because only
what's the difference? Who needs to go with the two? God
because you go
to go for also We go to I another find what am I find you can who is cigar to into brody but to now what's not the cigar of a crude. That makes sense.
Because Steph, your answer is simple. Because or can't be or say, ye two and ye many ache. Yeah, your maya, ye jeopardy, ye win yan. Steph, you what besides our question way. From the first time you who gold, you who oil, you who how much Anna Ghana, you can say ye two every side in my echo outside.
Makama ya wa Hassan, me
Yeah, to scan ya check. I know just
say I didn't say one corner bucket, all the bucket is sense you leak here. First thing I been so bet you hold me boy. Maybe a leak, you know, now what blockade leakage, you know, before you build on it. Yeah, one fundamental problem won't build it also go chapel. Ashanti region, do not send you to me processing. But Tiana make us a bunch of cry white gold. Syrup near the amu use on my brooch in a cassava base.
Yep.
The idea sucrose. You imported sugar, and then me started over 200 million sugar. When we recommended these are the basic things out here first. Now before I break it, and you know what, Emma. Now I have pipeline. Now what you are there, you don't have money. It's a school feeding crowd, you go to quadruple. Seriously.
For another time, no, we will have to talk about this because something that we can discuss it. And
we should not be bothered. Dubai
for future stuff. You know, listen, mama, what am I for when chat to her? Unim, sir, men kasa no, me say something in future no. So we are Maya, Ghana is situated in middle of Africa.
Boss, Michael, how you do? Agree, Coco, cried this year to me do 1 million metric tons. Coco,
management step here.
Coco, crown process. Coco,
I'm following chat to another mismanagement. So be mismanaged there. Midway chat for 1 word.
Go and talk about fixing the mismanagement.
Be mismanaged there. No, be so bad. Remember, you different. You must have questions. I want the obey no. And me young continue outright.
Checking mismanagement also for people. Mismanagement.
Kumasi kwa diwa mo party no manyano. Sister Fia.
Kumasi go be anka so mo pepo. Kumasi go be anka so mo pepo. Kumasi anka juma do do say oh boys ni bi omo ye. Na prof kan ya ma politicians na fire dogon. O ma fire dogon nti omo mbu ye. Ye fesi anu se Mr. Nagi sem se you know Mr. Ebo we ni ehu o. Mini so di ohu a Mr. Ebo ye ehu. What another Mr. Nagis, good evening.
Good evening, my dear.
I was told the article. I'm saying, video not to continue. Probably final comment. I'm saying, any company nano. I can't go some way. I call me that's why you know I was side for your own side. No, probably any final thoughts on this thing. I give you up. Say, as a gun and any
most of the time, Omokasa. They tend to blame the leadership, right? Everything in leadership. Many women are at the US, right? Funny say, area I would see Washington DC, you know, there's a pothole. There's a pothole in the road. Do you think the mayor is going to sleep? It is the people. The people know that the democracy belongs to them. So anytime they see something wrong, right, they are going to hold the politicians accountable. Fanny said, you know that your garbage is supposed to be picked on Tuesday, right? Nothing has happened. All of a sudden, Tuesday, the garbage is not picked. The people are going to rise up, right? So it's because the democracy, it is not from below. No? The people do not know that they have the right, that they have to hold their politicians accountable, right? So if we, Fanny said, look here, recently, was it 2020 or 2021 when they had shortage of food, baby food in the US?
Yeah, COVID time, the US shortage. Yeah.
What happened? Right? The government, the people started talking. The government had to go and get what? Baby food from somewhere. But the people know that they have to hold the government accountable to do the right thing. Right? So if we the people, if we know say we have the power and we have to hold the government accountable, no, when we rise up, no, the government is even afraid to do the wrong thing. What I'm saying, if he does something wrong now, the people are going to come after him or her. Right? So we should not blame leadership. It's we, the people, have to recognize the fact that we have the power and we have to hold the politicians accountable. If they don't do the right thing, we seize Jubilee House, occupy Jubilee House, occupy Flagstaff House. That is where the change is going to happen. But if we are not educated, we don't know our rights, we don't know how to hold government accountable now, then the politicians do whatever they want to do. Right? Even though the leadership is there, we should know that we have the right and we should hold them accountable. So if the road is not good and you are not saying anything, the politician only if I don't know.
Okay.
4x4 more, but if you know your rights, you have to hold him accountable. Go and demonstrate in his parliament, or go and demonstrate in front of his house. No, he will come and fix the road.
Okay. Prof, I mean, I say, and now what can I say? One castle chiwa you bonnie. That's essentially what it means. Mr. Nagis, where you now you call me so where you no call one side, so we couldn't connect you, Mr. Jetela. Yes, I before because this topic we didn't care all live, but time now so. I mean, we are 30 minutes, bros. And to produce the name of contact. But Yakopo yard me better so next week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Yakopo yard ma next week. Just